Swimming in the holy water in Carnage. Walking through a rima with a blade in my hand, a black and white in my flask, oh yeah. Black dirt on my white shoes like a convent girl. Peeping through my window cause I like bacchanal. Look left to right in Scarborough, see the whole island. That beach is part of my plan. Dream, no. Punching is a part of the scene. Take on and get the bank. I think we like how it feels. Don't think we idle, we just idolize the part of the piece. God, I just part of the dream. Stop, you're talking too much. Try it or just hush. I get really fed up. If your brethren jump, you go jump. If monkey know what tree to climb, I bet the dog ain't go back up this one. This one. This one. Punching is a part of the scene. Take on and get the bank. I think we like how it feels. Don't think we idle, we just idolize the part of the piece. But I just part of the tree. Part of the scene. Take on and get the bank. I think we like how it feels. Don't think we idle, we just idolize the part of the piece. But I just part of the tree.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
All you remember when it says Choppy came out on stage, him, class, and everybody ran out on stage. And they started to play Captain, right? So everybody's like, sail away. And then he dropped the literal best drill version of Captain.
Hey, Choppy.
My girl is sweet like pineapple, is sweet like thunder.
All you remember when what's your name? From O.U.R show? Allison. Is Allison? Yes. All you remember when I wind up on Allison?
So the vibe will be from the Jamettes crew basically. That support crew. I think that was amazing. The flag woman, just everybody. Their vibes just totally uplifting to me.
Seeing the response from the crowd, because normally you play rock and everybody be like, oh, what is that? But the response from the crowd was amazing.
Bring Sharifa, bring Sharifa, bring Rion Algon, bring Jazzy Blaze, bring Kuta.
Yeah. I swear living a pretending.
Memories don't live like people do, they say, but I sure me and my TTNL crew, we don't have much memories from last year. My phone had a lot of pictures, some of them were of me.
All you remember when Jamettes take the stage, boy? I personally just look at this team like the chemistry just unbelievable with these three women, boy.
Just being on stage with Nyla Blackman and Michael Teja,
they had this special dance. I didn't know we had that kind of support, and to see the whole place maxed out and the kind of following we had, it really showed me that I was a part of something special.
Remember when Prophet Benjamin come out as a surprise? Nobody didn't know Prophet was coming. His name wasn't on no flyer, nothing. And Clash just decided to bring him. It was, when you see the town, problem.
No, the memories are few, right? Because we had such a great time. I don't know what exactly we recollect except the pieces we put together after the fact, based on some photo and video evidence, some timeline synchronization. The night was great.
All I remember when Forbes pulled somebody from the crowd, a guy from the crowd, and started to talk to the man and ask him about his first time and all kind of things.
I have a question for you, right?
And Forbes is always the people that I don't know why. She had them in uncomfortable positions.
Only remember when we get an extra special happy birthday from Michael Teja.
Say happy birthday to you.
The second anniversary party interesting to me because I see the tidbits that I watched from last year and now as part of the O.U.R family. To be part of the second anniversary now, seeing that from where it was held to now is a bigger space, everything that means that O.U.R growing. I'm looking forward to that.
People who never heard the music and the energy before, accepting it so well. That was a great memory show.
And a lot of fun. It's something I never thought would happen is that I was on stage singing with the one Queen Omega. You talk to me? Try, talk to me.
Already think free $3.99. I'll be there.
You're going to get sweaty, so draw on your eyebrows so that when you reach the event, you get sweaty and wind up yourself and rub it to hell off.
Saturday, June 17th at Sound Forge, O.U.R Radio's second year anniversary party. And this time we're doing it bigger.
You're gonna get a mix of everything, so get listed right now. It's free. If you're listed. If you're not listed, you gotta give me $100. You understand? And I'm paying that man by the door. I feel like I'm gonna call him both.
Come on down, bring your crew, let we have a nice time.
The laws of the game say the lines contain it. But contain it, they fail. Cross the line, move the line, break the line. This game forever grows, forever spreads. No corner of society out of bounds. A cultural force no whistle can stop. The court dimensions may be set, but this game is ever expanding. The spirit of the NBA.
Some time to ease my mind and fight. Feelings kinda shifty, healing taking time. But the mood on my mind, on my heart inclined. Things take time. And I just want to rest on. Take it nice and slow to ease the stress. Yeah. Sometimes I don't feel to get off. Keep my eyes on high, I'll touch the sky, yeah. Got the moon on my mind, on my heart inclined. The moon on my mind, on my heart. Take it nice and slow to ease the stress, yeah. Sometimes I don't feel to get to. Keep my eyes on high, I'll touch the sky, yeah. The moon on my mind, the moon on my mind, the moon on my mind, on my heart inclined, yeah.
Samurai Restaurant at 1 Woodward Place is proud to announce the launch of our new dinner and lounge menus, carefully crafted by head chef Chad Lee and his culinary team. Enjoy our lounge with live entertainment and DJ on Fridays and Saturday until 1 a.m. Ask about our late night drink specials. Kitchen closes at midnight. Visit Samurai Restaurant on Facebook and Instagram for details. Call or WhatsApp for reservations at 622-SAKE, 622-7253. See you soon. Kampai.
On to sin. And we are here. We live. We direct.
Yes.
Guys, welcome to Island Girl Talk.
You have to do it.
Another Wednesday.
You have to do
Another week. It's your Island Girls.
Kimber just waits patiently. It fills me up with so much joy.
I'm Kristen Kane.
I'm Lex. I am Kimber Joe.
And guys, we have a guest for you. We have a surprise. Well, not really a surprise. We did advertise it. But a treat. Mm-hmm. An informative treat, an educative treat. We're here to learn some things today.
No.
Right?
I say it in Begolio.
Say it with your chest.
Always. You're gonna that scalp gonna be real tender.
You're gonna be like
when this conversation here finished. But it's important stuff.
Yes,
so very, very excited.
We're so excited. So guys, we want to welcome today's guest and co-host. We have the amazing Neola Zama in the house. Yeah, but those sound effects. Look at that. Boy, maybe with the sound effects.
Hello. Maybe under some pressure today.
Ease him. Guys, we're going to be talking the things, so we had to bring in someone certified today, all right? Because some things are just outside of our purview, and we have to bring in the professionals, yes?
Yep.
So just a little background, Neola Zama
Wait, hold on. How you going?
I really rushing the brush.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I know we're real excited.
We're so excited.
Don't wrong. We're real excited, and that's good stuff.
I didn't even ask all you.
That's going. How you going? But you know what? We were chatting so much before. We were now saying that all of us were here as early as we were. So we were all chatting away and being able to connect a little bit with our very special guests. It's just nice to be in a space where people understand.
She just fall right in our jealous.
Right. Yes. But how was your weekend? How were you guys this weekend?
It was pretty good. It was productive.
Nice. You worked this weekend?
Not just that, but yes, I worked. But productive in other ways.
We'll wait. Things are tinging. You did call me to say things are tinging.
I did.
Lex, what you did?
I had a very mommy-filled weekend, so it was very exhausting, but we got things done, so that's what's important.
Amen. And then what about you, Nola?
I do remember. I usually do remember.
Honest.
Yeah, I will remember all my clients' business about a cousin, friend, father who battled them 20 years ago. I do remember what I ate for breakfast or what I did over the weekend.
It's all about your clients.
It's happened.
I remember when I get home and I'll be like,
that's what
I did.
Right.
We love it.
All good.
What about you, Cam?
Y'all I slept. Y'all have been sleeping.
Listen, we are so proud of Cambodia. Because the rest is.
Even though the road was long,
She's not early.
Come on, no one could make it. No, I'm catching up on some very much overdue sleep. and I feel great. I don't know if it's a good thing because the foolishness that I done started.
No. We taking it.
No, it's a good time. It's a good time. Still busy. Still having lots to do, and of course, I can't not talk about the lots to do, which involves this Saturday.
Indeed,
The
it does.
17th of June is just about what? Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days away. T-3.
Are you guys listed yet?
I find get it together. That's all I have to say.
It, like in the words of Jarrell, get it together.
Indeed. But in case you're wondering what's happening, I don't know how you could miss it. We are ready. Our artists are ready, and the venue is set, right? Saturday, the 17th of June at Sound Forge. Come and celebrate 2 years of O.U.R. Radio, TNT's #1 online radio station. Just like last year, y'all, it's free 99. It is free before 12 once you are listed. And in case you still need to get listed, or you realize, you know what, we need to get a couple more people on our crew, WhatsApp us at 466-4OUR. That's 466-4687, or email party@OURradio.fm. Of course, we're going to have games. We're going to have welcome drinks. We're going to have guest artist performances. We're going to have giveaways and special presentations from all of us at O.U.R. Radio. Performing live, we've got Nigel Rojas, Marge Blackman, Orlando Octave, Gus, Mr. King, Madhead City, Nelly Kotoy, Izzy Real, Just Liz, and so many more. And of course, again, O.U.R. Radio's 2nd anniversary, Saturday, the 17th of June at Sound Forge. Super important. Super importante. Put attention, right? Doors open at 8 p.m.
Not moving on Trini time, y'all.
Thanks. Let's say it louder.
Nope, no Trini time.
We're starting on time.
Correct is right. You know, the Jamet's in charge of this, so it had no way that we could be right. Focus. We will get, we have to be there. So doors open at 8 p.m. and showtime is 9 p.m. Sharp. Not daylight savings time, 9 p.m. No, 9 p.m. So ready yourself, come on down. And of course, this event is powered by Digicel, Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Rude Boy, Drink Rude, and Cricks, celebrating 100 years of the vital supplies. So that's how I'm doing.
Well done, Camps. I love that voice, you know.
A good time.
Sultry voice. But just to touch on that as well, we're gonna still be doing giveaways. We still have 2 more giveaways. So guys, as you know, we gave away 2 dinner vouchers to Deckies last week and the week before. And at the event, we're gonna give away 2 dinner vouchers to Samurai. So Samurai is now an official sponsor of the anniversary party. Yes, we did it. Yes. Right? So come on down. We're gonna pick a lucky person. Put them on the spot. Play your cards right.
Yeah, because
you win a dinner voucher. Right?
Work for it.
Indeed. Guys, before we get into it, we want to invite you all to please like and share this live. We tired of begging. Like it up. Share it in your WhatsApp, in your social media, all that jazz. The more, the merrier. All right. Today's a really interesting topic. I'm sure this would apply to so many people. So keep it locked. All right. And we want to remind people that if you're an upcoming artist or you want to play your music, we are all about local music. We play 75% local music, but really we do play more. Right? I would say about 100% really. You know?
Most of it.
Right? So feel free to send in your music at music@OURradio.fm. Again, if you want to hear your music played on the platform, send it in to music@OURradio.fm. All right?
See.
And with that, we commence our topic of the day. Right? Well, not topic of the day.
She's rolling her head already. She's like, what did I get myself?
No, I like the synchronicity.
Yeah. So before we get into topic of the day, we have to learn a little bit about our guest because she's the one who's really going to be spearheading this today. She's going to be, imparting all the knowledge. Right? So Neola Zama, just a little something, is a professional therapist and trainer with almost 2 decades of clinical experience. And she continues to heal as trauma as a trauma survivor and thriving woman in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I'm going to leave it there.
That's it.
Right?
Short and
And we're
sweet.
going to let you do the things. Just tell us a little bit about, your journey as a therapist, how you came, what was the catalyst, what made you want to do it, of course, and, tell us a little bit about your practice and what you specialize in.
Okay, so I'll start with the more boring stuff first, which is the practice.
Get out of the way.
So I've been in private practice for as long as I've been a therapist, but I had physical offices, and long before COVID, when I had a great job in corporate, working in management, had no reason to relaunch private practice, God dropped it in my belly and said, you need to relaunch your private practice, but do it online. So this was way before COVID. It was not a thing. I only told my husband. He was like, well, you don't really need to. And I was like, okay, rest it down. And it came back and it just kept burning in my belly. And I talked to him again and I was like, babe, this is from God because it's not going away. So I have to do it. So I did it. Work 16 hours a day because I was working in corporate. So I'd do like my work on lunch.
Right.
And then work everything else 6 days a week. And then COVID came. And I just went and I told my husband,
yeah,
that's why. That's why. And nobody thought it would work. And here we are. I don't work in corporate anymore. And this is my full-time job.
Right. Fantastic.
So I have a nice little team. We match, we suit. I just had to let somebody go. I learned and I grew from that. Still learning, still hurting because I'm alive.
Right.
But it's great. It's a great practice.
Amazing.
So we make safe spaces for women and couples. And I knew that I wanted to help people when I was 12 years old because a pastor asked me. I don't know why he asked me. We made altar call. He's like, anybody want to accept Christ? And I took my granny because she was my best friend and like my mom. I was like, Granny, I want to go. She's like, come, I'll walk with you. Walking up there, she left me halfway and she turned back.
Left at the altar.
Which was a thing.
My
She
gosh.
literally left me at the altar.
Right.
12 years old and I was big like this. Like I was like around Nashi little child.
Tiny.
And I don't know why he asked me, so what you want to do with your life? And it just came out of me that I want to help. And he prayed for me. And at 19, I was like, nah, I want to do art.
Okay.
With my life. Applied to school in Miami, got through. And my mom actually, who did not want me to go anywhere, went behind my back and applied for UE.
Oh my God.
So in those days, you had to sign a paper form. So I was home, passport ready, planning the whole thing, got this envelope that said congrats, and I was like, why are you sending me a letter?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So she went behind my back and signed me up for psychology. And as traumatic as it was, what came out of that was a gift because I'm doing exactly what I was born to
So
do.
in that
Like,
instance,
this is it.
mommy knew
Mommy
best.
knew best, yes.
Mommy knew best.
I would say that God took the control
Right.
and he made it into
Through
a
her,
gift.
right.
Okay.
And he gifted it to me. And I tell people, like, the things that I help women to heal from, I've lived it. It's not a textbook. You need the degrees. Don't drop out of school. You need, right, finish, right, don't say
Must
anything.
be a marrying of the two.
But I pull from lived experience and the degrees as well. So everything that I've been through and healed from and thrived, that's the woman that I work with best, the trauma survivors. The women who have the mother wounds, the women who could not recognize abuse.
Like
right? The people from
Speak the things you know.
women who are hurting. I make the world a better place by doing good therapy. If I wasn't doing therapy, I'd be teaching, which actually is my first love, and that's the first time I've announced that in public.
Oh wow!
Teaching is my first love. Yeah.
Can we keep up?
If she wants to be
Okay. So like I bring very much like a teaching style to my work. And
Right.
teaching and therapy, they're
Very
they're
similar.
sisters.
Yes.
Yes.
They are sisters.
Go hand in
Yeah.
hand.
They're
Yes.
twins.
Amazing, amazing. So, we ask this of usually of artists, but I mean it applies to anyone in any field. What would you say is like a highlight in your career?
That was going to be my question.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. When you are, even before people start therapy, because we offer free consultation, I don't want to take people money, and then they leave and they say that's not for me. Free consultation, right? Even before they start therapy, there's something in a woman's voice when you start explaining to her that her pain makes sense. And the way that she's acting or acting out, even though she might think it looks bonkers and it feels crazy, that she makes so much sense. Something in their voice changes.
Validation.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even though I can't see their face,
Yes.
like I'm very good with people's emotion. Like I could feel through the phone that they think this I make sense.
Yeah.
And somebody sees me and she hears me. I am not crazy.
Yeah.
And right on the back of that, you hear this hope in the voice. And you hear the hope and it's like, I could get better. And every time I think I could do this until the day I die, and you see that little shift in the voice in my belly every time, I just feel like a thing.
Right. A connection.
Like a thing, and I'm like, yeah, girl, I tell you, you'll get better.
Yeah. And
you
then,
will get better.
And that's the invitation. And then they step into the space and then they start getting better and they see for themselves, because what you did, you planted the seed first, the seed of hope. Wow.
Exactly. Even if you don't stay with me for therapy, because like some clients, they get scared. And then a year later, they pop up and they're like, hey, remember me? I could still have my session. Of course you can.
Yeah.
And even in the year without the therapy, because you've planted the seed, it always grows. It could grow into a tree, it could sprout, but it never dies. Once you plant that hope, it never dies. And that's kind of, it keeps me going, because it's a hard job. Well, it's not a fairy tale. I don't want to spin a tale.
Yeah.
Speaking of, were you going to say something?
I was going to ask, but I also know that I could sit and I could learn about who she is all day, but we have a topic of the day to get into. So.
I do want to ask something still about her career before we move on, though.
Sure.
Speaking about what you said, it's a tough task. It's a tough job. Do you sometimes feel, as a therapist, having to listen to everyone's problems, everyone's issues all the time, do you sometimes feel depleted after a work day?
Yes, it's exhausting. We experience vicarious trauma because I'm hearing all of the trauma, and I'm very sensitive generally as a person. So a lot of things drop into my spirit, and I'm usually exhausted after a session. I can't hear much talking after I finish for the day. Like the sound of the human voice, it puts the hair on the back of my neck up. So, and I'm a wife, right? Like I can't go downstairs to my husband and be sour and be like taking out vicarious trauma on him. So it's 20 years and I'm still learning how to pay attention to myself. Like Neola, don't go downstairs, babe. Because y'all will fight and you'll say bad things, and then it's not even him.
It's not him.
It's the whole day of hearing about the things.
But I have a very quick follow-up question.
Sure.
So how do you replenish that energy then?
Good one.
Solitude and quiet for me.
Amen, sister.
I get to switch out from, like, I'm leaving this stuff. Like, I wash my hands too. I find like a physical thing helps. I have to close the laptop down, and in my head, okay, I'm closing the laptop, turn off the light, I wash my hands, and sometimes I just lie down in the dark. And just kind of catch myself. The darkness and the silence is very nourishing. Yeah.
What is it about washing your hands? Because I'm a fervent
literally washing
hand washer. I wash my hands like sometimes obsessively.
I'm washing off like the trauma and the heavy stuff. Like I got this from a friend who's a massage therapist. So I went to somebody who was not my girl, and when she put her hands on me, I felt so sick.
Oh, wow.
And
transference of energy.
Transference of spirits, my grandmother used to say.
I felt sick, and then she's making these racist statements like I'm mixed, although I don't know, I don't look it. And she made these racist statements, and I was like, yo, sis, like, this not for me. And my husband picked me up, and I wanted to vomit.
I noticed.
So I call my friend.
Yeah, transference of energy.
Yeah, she's a professional massage therapist, and she's like, Neola, shake it off and wash your hands. Because she said when she massages people and their spirits are heavy, she feels it. And what she does is she does this. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I wash my hands or like I bathe if it's a super, like you have the gossip therapy sessions and then you have the trauma session, right? If it's like a whole trauma day, I will go straight and bathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know that's one of the things that the people who may not, the ancient practitioners of spirituality, there's a lot of power in water. And you know, going to the beach and it's a very cleansing thing. And then speaking the words of cleanliness as something as simple as just washing your hands. A simple, I wash, and you know, the old people will say, you might hear him say, I wash my hands in this situation.
Right.
Literally, you're removing your connection and the energetic connection.
I feel like there's a topic here.
Next one.
Transference of spirits, transference of energy.
All right, it's a thing.
Write it down, baby.
Put that down. Next day.
No, for sure. So that's important though, being able to anything that you're involved, I think, with people. So if you're in customer service, even like some of the things that I heard you say, it's like, you know, sometimes you could get a customer ringing down your ears, rinsing you out. How do you bounce back from that before the next customer? So it's that isolation, or it's that if you talk all day, shh. I just need 30 minutes.
Just don't come near me.
Just
don't
take your time out.
Sometimes that can happen over the phone too.
Yeah, because that's your practice. No.
So I was. Let me share a little bit. I won't take long. Cam.
Tell
I know
us.
you're a stickler.
Me, man.
But when it flows. But just last night, your girl feeling so good. You know, I've been putting off washing my hair for a while because I'm so busy and like do some self care because it's a thing when I wash my hair. There's a wig, but my hair. I love my hair, and it's just a process, and I like to get into it. And I'm just about to step in the shower. Pring, pring. Well, I wouldn't bore you with the details, but basically I felt like I ran a marathon after speaking to that person. And I was just like, I sat at the edge of my bed and like, what?
You couldn't move.
Just happened.
Yeah. It's like a shell
Why
shock.
whenever I decide to do something good for me, something always intercepts, and it happens a lot. You know what I mean? When I'm in a nice headspace and stuff, I always get that call that changes my mood drastically.
Crystal,
I'm listening.
do you have problems saying no? Just
Gosh,
She's
that
therapying me.
That wig sat nice, right? Because I feel like she might drag
I feel
you
like
by.
it slip a little bit.
The side eye. It's like bullseye. Really, Neola? That's what you do.
Why you doing this?
Yes, I do have a problem saying no. Sometimes, as tough as I am, and you know, most people will think, right? Most people will think she hardcore, but really mushy on the inside.
Yeah.
I do have, I find it hard to tell people no. And if I do say no, I find myself trying to look for solutions for them if I can't do it.
Right.
But it wasn't a case of yes or no. It was just, like Kemba said, transference of energies, and it left me depleted. I felt physically weak. You know, it affected me that much. And I was just like, I can't wash my hair tonight.
That's a real
It
was drain on you.
And I was like, if not tonight, when, Lord? Because it can't be Thursday, it can't be take him into my weekend. I'm busy all weekend.
Right.
Monday, boy. You know what I mean? And I really tried to muster the energy to go into the shower and wash my hair. I couldn't do it.
No.
I did go into the shower. I bathed, changed my clothes, bed.
Facts, You know, I want to challenge you that if or when they call back, picking up the phone and sacrificing your time is actually saying no to yourself.
Amen.
So I think it comes back to yes and no. Like sometimes to say yes to yourself, you automatically say no to something else. And you just kind of have to, you know.
And be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself. I did. It was a different person, but I did it today. I was doing something really quickly this morning on my computer. Thank you.
Congrats. That's good.
I got a call and I was like, oh, pick up the phone to answer. Just like, and I put it down. And I was like, okay, what's the guidance spirits? Yes, call them spirit guides.
Spirit guides.
I was like, okay, spirit guides.
Good
I think
job.
that's the lesson I learned today.
Yay!
I really felt proud
Yay!
because I knew that person was gonna ask something that was gonna take away from me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, not today. It's Wednesday.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
this. It's that. I was like,
And I feel like being able to prioritize oneself is a huge, huge step in reclaiming all that you are, your very essence.
protecting your
When
space.
those vampires get to you, which
Energy
I think
vampires.
And that's
is
in there.
pretty much kind of a lot of what we're going to talk about today. How you navigate some of those difficult spaces.
Indeed.
So.
All right,
Yay,
we ready.
Chris.
We ready.
Really
That was
ready?
a good segue.
Should I do the
Yeah,
dance?
yeah.
Do that?
Yeah.
I'm rats! We rats! We commencing. Sorry.
We're rapping. We're rapping.
No,
What
we
time we doing?
commencing. We commencing topic
Right.
of the day.
Comment.
Yeah?
She
Neil, are you
spotlight.
ready?
She spotlight.
I think so.
Yes.
All right. So, guys.
We'll
I
find
know
out.
those of you who have seen the link, you all know what we're talking about. But if you're just joining us and you don't know what today's topic is, we are going to be talking about trauma bonds. Are you in a relationship or are you in a trauma bond? What's a trauma bond? Well, we will find out. We're going to leave all the answers up to our invited guest, our therapist, Neola Zama. She's going to educate us all on what this is about. And like I said earlier, we're going to learn some things. Not things.
Chris,
Take away
I
something.
I know before we literally take it away, I just wanted to hop into the
chat
YouTube.
room. Yes, please, from
because
the
we've
top.
got a wonderful set of people on. Hello, good evening. Mario Sargent says, good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hi, Mario.
Adina or Adina and
Adina.
motivation. Adina, thank you. Adina and motivation. Hey girls, hey girl, how are ya? Pablo Fabulous, good evening. Arum Gold, blessings to all. Fire Wolfman, greetings ladies, special guest and everyone. Missed last week, but I'm here this week. The good news,
Happy to
Fire
have
Wolfman, is that you can go back and watch last week. That's the best part about it.
And like and share it.
Sexy Boss Music, good evening to you. Shania O'Connor, hello.
Hi, Shania.
Adina and Motivation Inside, listed since we first announced the party.
Indeed.
Right, Rhoda puts in his eyes, watching you right back. Adina says, I have problems saying no. That's you, girl. Sit down and make sure that you're comfortable, because I feel like we come for you tonight. Me too, though.
Yes.
Everybody coming for me too.
Yes.
Annie J says, hi Neola, and Adina Motivation says, whoa, I needed to hear about this topic today. We got you, sis. We got you. And if you've just joined, welcome. Feel free to hop into our chat at any time to let us know. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And subscribe.
Yes, please.
And subscribe.
We're doing a quick break, or we gonna go right into it?
We missed our break. So, Neola, if you don't mind, we're gonna go to a quick commercial.
Sure.
Guys, keep it locked right here to Island Girl Talk on TNT's #1 online radio station, Our Radio FM. We'll be right back.
All you remember when it says Choppy came out on stage and then he dropped the literal best drill version of Captain.
Hey, Choppy. My girl is sweet like pineapple, is sweet like thunder.
All you remember what's she name? From O.U.R show. Allison. Is Allison?
Yes.
All you remember when I wind up on Allison?
So the vibe will be from the Jamettes crew, basically. That's support crew. The flag woman.
Seeing the response from the crowd, because normally you play rock and everybody will be like, oh, what is that? But the response from the crowd was amazing.
Bring Kute.
Yeah. I swear, baby, I'm not pretending. Yeah.
Memories don't live like people do, they say, but I assure me and my TTNL crew, we don't have much memories from last year. My phone had a lot of pictures, some of them were of me.
All you remember when Jamettes take the stage, boy? I personally just look at this team like the chemistry just unbelievable with these three women, boy.
Just being on stage with Nyla Blackman and Michael Teja, they had this special dance.
Only thing free. $3.99. I'll be there. Oh my, why again?
You're going to get sweaty, so draw on your eyebrows so that when you reach the event, you get sweaty and wind up yourself and rub it to hell off.
Saturday, June 17th at Sound Forge, O.U.R Radio's 2nd year anniversary party. And this time we're doing it bigger.
You're gonna get a mix of everything, so get listed right now. It's free if you're listed.
Oh, and we're back with more show. We're just doing it live.
Yes.
It's your Island Girls. We're your hosts. I'm Crystal Kane.
I'm Lex.
And I'm Kemba Joe.
And our special guest, we have Neola Zama in the house. Professional therapist here to tell us all about some things today. What we're talking about, if you're just joining us, we are discussing trauma bonds. A lot of people confuse it with actual relationships. But are you really in a healthy relationship or are you in a trauma bond? We're going to talk the things today. All right? So, are you ready, Neola?
I am so ready.
Tell us, because I'm sure a lot of us are wondering now, what is a trauma bond?
So I know trauma is having a moment on social media. Most of what we call trauma actually isn't, right?
Really?
Yeah. So everything that causes you stress or sadness or distress, we've now lumped into trauma.
Right.
Trauma is a very, very serious thing, right? Most of what we're calling trauma now is just unpleasant feelings that don't cause us harm. And trauma is pain and harm, right? So this is a trauma bond. Let's say I were dating you, right? And I send you these messages on one hand. You're amazing. I want you near to me. Come close. And I do all the things. And I call and there's the attention and there's the flowers. And then as soon as you come near to me, usually I take what I want from you and then instantly I give you this message. You are disgusting. I don't like you. I actually need you to get away from me.
Oh boy.
So I'm not telling you in the words. It could be through ghosting.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, I ghost you. I have sex with you and then you don't hear from me until the next time I'm horny again. I want food. Right, because some of us, we food dropping out here.
Right.
And I hook you. I use you and I discard you. But then, as soon as you catch yourself, I just come right back. And so this cycle starts over. So you, Crystal, being...
I'm triggered already.
The person on the receiving end of that, once you go back into the cycle, a trauma bond starts to form. So what happens so I'll say me now, I'm the person that's trauma bonding. I am going to be rapidly cycling between a high and a low. Now, fun fact, that high and low is the exact process that happens in persons who are addicted to gambling.
Right.
So if anybody wants to look it up, it's called intermittent reinforcement, right? So this is what it looks like.
Of course, I'm right here.
Once I get the high, so the high is the attention, it's the prize. The reward for me is the attention, the affection, the sex, the flowers, the KFC, I don't know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's the high.
I guess it's based on your love language.
Whatever it is. And some of these people, they study women's pain points and they weaponize it. So it's easy for them to swoop in and begin to form the trauma bond because you don't recognize, right? Like you think this guy is so nice.
But does it happen the other way around too, where women do it to men?
Yeah, but I work mostly with women, and most victims of domestic violence, like more than 90% are women.
Right.
So when you trace it back, most times you're gonna find a trauma bond, right?
Okay.
So just like with gambling, you're sitting at the slot machine, you pull, right? Okay, so 7 times, the 8th time I get a prize. Bam. Adrenaline, endorphins, oxytocin, those are all the feel-good chemicals. So I got my prize on the 8th pull, but then I have to pull 100 times again to get the prize. What this does in the brain is bling, 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 bling. Then you go dry for like 2 months. then you come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that reward is called a reinforcement. It's the same thing with these toxic people. They show up as soon as you catch yourself, they give you the attention, whatever is your thing. They weaponize it, they turn it into a thing. So you are rapidly cycling, just like the gambling addict, between highs and lows, and your brain is just going like this. Right?
I don't like that.
I know, it's not good. So the high is the reward, it's all those feel-good things. They get what they want, they withdraw from you, or there's some abuse, there's mistreatment, there's the ghosting, or they go back to their wife because honing is a national pastime, or the second and the third, right?
Jesus.
And you know it, but you know what you start to do, you make excuses for it.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, he
Of
said he
course.
leaving, they're really separated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me
just finish the
yes.
highs and lows. So you're cycling, and this rapid cycling, it hooks you into a cycle of addiction, which is the exact biochemistry of the person who's addicted to gambling. That's the intermittent. Like tomorrow he'll be good to me. Okay, this time he will stay. It's the next time. And they ghost you and then they come back. And the whole roller coaster, you're now trauma bonded. And we call it love. And chemistry, because
Twin
big woman
flame.
thing.
This, that.
I need to say this. The sex in a trauma bond feels incredible. And what women will tell you, and I quote, and I'm quoting hundreds of women here who were real clients. It was the best sex I ever had. You know why it was the best sex I ever had? Because it's the ounce of attention. It's an ounce of water in a desert. You've been thirsty for a month and he shows up with this one drop. And I tell my clients it's like lightning in an enamel cup. You know enamel cup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the rush, remember you're low, right? So you're low, it's all the stress, it's all the sadness. That ounce is going to shoot your brain back off into oxytocin. Of course, this sex feels amazing. It's the only time he pays you attention.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And so it's chemistry and it's love. And they come to therapy and they say, Neola, I'm telling you, he's the one. Like, this is it. I have never felt, the man show up and my paws raised and I wet myself. Like, this is it. This is it. And they tell you this is what they say.
Right.
And then you dig and you realize, babe, you're trauma bonded.
Yeah, this is not it.
This is not it.
Oh boy. So
tell me what you want to tell. Question.
So really and truly, trauma bonding is from the perspective of the victim, of the one who is clinging to that.
Yes.
Hi. Okay.
The one who's stuck. The one who's stuck.
If I only tell all you ever.
So so I guess if the one who's hooked, who's going through that intermittent, I was going to say fasting. Reinforcement. Like what do you call the other side of it? Who is that person?
They're abusive.
The abuser.
They're harmful. They're toxic. And I am convinced that these people study. They know what they're doing. So we spend
that was a question of mine.
too much time trying to figure out why the other person is doing it. When really your focus should be on why does this feel so good to me? Why am I drawn to this like a moth to a flame? Why does this feel at home? And then when you start digging, sometimes, like more than 50%, home isn't safe.
That's very true.
Home is chaotic.
Yeah,
right?
why does it feel like home?
But those line of questioning comes with a certain level of self-awareness that not a lot of people have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So most people wouldn't ask themselves those questions.
They won't. That's where the therapy comes in. But, even if you never go to therapy, because not everybody will go to therapy, the biggest thing I will tell you, when you find yourself getting sucked into it, one of the biggest signs is where you spend a lot of time obsessing. Two things. What can I do to keep him when he comes back? Right? And two, obsessing about why is he doing this to me?
Right.
Yes.
Because when you start over focusing outside of you and you ignore your pain, what you do is you never come off the roller coaster. So you just permanently ride on this roller coaster, right? You stay on a roller coaster too long, what happens? So your wig falls off, right? Your back. Your back is broken. You get whiplash. It's horrible.
Yes.
And here's the other thing. When you come off of the roller coaster, this is the big thing now, the point. And you are standing on that stable ground, you feel so uncomfortable that all you want to do is get back on the roller coaster. Because you're hooked now into the trauma. And that brain is craving the hit just like the gambling addict. Right. I mean, I've heard people gamble away their kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
And their house. And a set of money. And you who don't have this biochemistry, you look at them and you think, are you crazy? And that's what we do to these women. We think, well, they'll probably like it. That's why you're going back. And you try to hit them with logic and you show them all the pictures of him and his wife having a time in Miami. When he really tell you he was working late because boyfriend was in Miami with the kid, right? And his wife. And you look at them and you try to logic them out of it. This is not working. This is not, they're terrified of rejection. They're being used. A lot of these women think that sex in a relationship is glue when it's really just honey. And they learn to do all the tricks and they think the next thing will keep him, just like the addict. If I do this and that, he will stay. And years later, you find yourself in a mess wondering, how did I even get here?
Yeah.
It's because you were trauma bonded and you probably didn't know and you just never catch yourself, right? But if you don't go to therapy, I want you to sit and ask yourself, why am I so focused on what he's doing versus why am I accepting this nonsense?
Yeah. Right.
And deep in your foot, you usually know it's nonsense.
Oh,
you could tell. You know, all the excuses and it's just a little bit of food.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there was something you said earlier where you referred to a person's childhood, and it doesn't always have to be with a spouse, but with your parents, and that could be one of the origins for why a victim is so easily trauma bonded. Can you explain? Can you explain what that looks like? What a trauma bond looks like in the space of a parent/child?
Yeah. So I don't have my presentation, but I've divided it into 4, right? I probably won't remember all of them. One of the most popular ones for little girls in the Caribbean is the little girl who has to be perfect. Don't raise your voice. Do well in school. If your brother's sick, take care of him, right? This is the little girl who has to perform for love. You have to be perfect at everything. Anything goes wrong in the family, it's your fault, right? And little girls who have to be perfect or even to be a parent, right? Grow into women who I call them Love Me Lana, right? Like, love me, I'll do this for you.
Love me Lana.
I'll take anything, right? Then there's the Pick Me Patrice, right? It's the little girl.
Pick me.
I feel at home with these names because I do that negative Nancy, hello, good day, optimistic Olivia, but Pick Me Patrice.
So Pick Me Patrice, big family, you're ignored.
Wow. Middle child syndrome.
Middle child, you bring home 99. I'm speaking to myself. I went to a prestige school. I'd bring home like 99%. And the only thing my parent would not do, I wouldn't say who the parent is, was spit on the report, and the feedback would be, where's the other mark?
Right. No.
So invisible. You're invisible in your house for whatever reason. Or what happens a lot in the Caribbean, there's a parent with substance abuse or untreated mental illness. So the child is always invisible.
Right.
So the little girl who's invisible at home grows into the woman who is desperate to be seen. You have to pick me. If you don't text me, hey babe, in the morning, or you don't text me back within 5, I am showing up at your workplace and I'm going to go batshit crazy. Because who you feel you ignoring. And it's almost like you could see yourself acting crazy and a little piece of you is like, what are you doing? Right. But it's this compulsion.
Yeah.
Because that is an old pain. And old pain does not go anywhere.
No, it does not.
It manifests in different ways no matter what the birth date is, right?
Yeah.
So like woman we do these things, and when you trace it back, it's the little girl who was unloved, who was unseen, the little girl who has the alcoholic parent, and there's always a drama and a chaos at home, and dad is unavailable. So, you could be that little girl. You're the adult who finds the nice guys boring.
Right.
They can't talk to you.
I love nice guys though.
Right.
I
Good
seek
for you.
out the boring,
Good for you.
nice guys.
Boring
because
is good.
I'm bad like crap. I have a question for you because I can relate to everything you're saying, but you all know this show is to be real, transparent, full disclosure, but I wouldn't go there yet. I'm gonna let you finish, like Kanye.
I have one question based on what she was saying.
I'll just get in line and just wait.
Do you find though that the childhood quote unquote issue is necessary for you to have a trauma bond?
Good question.
Or can it happen to anyone?
It could happen to anybody, and there's different reasons. So I've dealt with women who came from, perfect homes. Both parents were present. They tried their best. They love you. And they just end up with these guys way out of their league.
Right.
Not good enough for them by any stretch of the imagination. And you think, what's happening here? So our culture rewards certain behaviors in women that I find to be very harmful.
Such as?
Stifling yourself, not expressing anger. A woman who expresses anger or is assertive in the workplace.
Right.
Like she ain't got nothing last night, or she getting on so far.
Lego,
Right? You need a man.
shoots.
He's a bitch. The guy does it. Big man thing, but yeah, boy. Right? He's assertive. He's climbing the corporate ladder. And I've been in corporate forever. I've seen it. I've had people approach me with the most ridiculous of requests that I know they would never ask a man. And you have to be submissive and subservient. You're not allowed to take care of. So our culture rewards. I'm gonna say it. I like to say mothering and smothering.
Yes.
Our culture rewards that. You're a good mom. Your dress bust up, but your child in Gucci, God bless you.
Oh,
you're a great mom.
Listen.
Sacrificing,
Yeah.
extreme people pleasing. We are rewarded culturally for these things. So where it's almost brainwashed that I have to be the good girl. The good girl is going nowhere fast.
Yeah.
And then you attract these guys, the Peter Pan guys, right? They're like children, so you get to mother them, you get to rescue them, their finances in a mess. You're 45 years old and you could move on, but you know what? You need to live with your mom. Well, let me step in, I'll be your mom.
Oh, God.
Let me fix it for you.
Lego my bodice, lady.
I snatch you.
Explode.
Kemba, find a snatcher.
So everything is on my mind. You just, like when you go bowling and you get like a strike.
She feels attacked.
Big up me and my therapy. I don't feel attacked, right?
Good.
But you've definitely highlighted a lot of the versions of myself that I've learned to shed. And it's not a bad thing. I think that our society, so this is kind of leading up to my question. I just want to highlight, you have dragged me for filth regarding the toxicity of our society. That Pick Me Patrice, the invisible Ingrid, you don't feel seen, and it's not just things that affect women. These things affect men too. And you go and you're attracted to the first thing or the first person that helps you to feel seen, regardless of what that looks and feels like.
An ounce of attention,
right?
Yeah.
And so leading into my question, it's the considering the sickness in our society, all of the things that basically pit women or pit us against a fighting chance. Do you think that is what makes it so hard for us to identify when we're being or when we're trauma bonding with people?
Yeah, we think it's normal. We want the approval of society. We want to get that promotion and work. And we want to climb the corporate ladder. We want to be successful. Nothing is wrong with that.
Yeah.
Mom guilt is a real thing. We don't want people, oh, you're a bad mom.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you go to the spa and your child has a cold? And it sounds ridiculous, but we punish women for choosing themselves. I have clients who come to session in a mess. And I'm like, sis, what is going on? Like, you look really bad. I tell my clients, I'll tell them flat, like, you look really bad. Well, you know, I had to put off the hairdresser because my husband, you know, he can't do two things at the same time. And I'm like, really?
But how many things you doing, sis?
How did you...
All in one?
How did you know that? And you do all the things.
Exactly.
And this is... So we now have 2 children. It's the husband and the child.
And it's that expectation that women will just... we just get it calm down. We just get it done. So
I heard a pastor say, oh my, listen, I'm a born again Christian, I love Jesus, right? And I had to put the disclaimer in, and this pastor was like, well, my wife with her 7 children, you know, she does everything,
and he's boasting,
boasting, and I'm like, that's actually not good. You should not be boasting about that. That's not good. And then I heard another pastor say, if anybody is sick, no matter how old you get, call your mother. She'll know what to do.
Oh boy.
You telling me you calling your 90-year-old mother and you're a grown man. Because you don't know how to act. And this, we internalize these messages, and this is how we behave. So of course you attract the guy.
It's written into the fabric, but more than just attracting, not to discredit, you know, well, it's easy. It's written into the fabric.
It's in your DNA.
It's written into
it's in the DNA.
What we are raised to be. I mean, we are raised, we hear the messaging all the time. Now we get the chance to go to school. So you go to school, you get a good job, and you get a man.
Right.
And you make 2.5 babies. And that's it.
2.5. And that's it. And I am now reduced to the mother that I am, the wife that I am. Where is my individuality? Do I get to be a person at any point in time?
You're not allowed.
But we're not allowed. And it comes from the pastors. It comes from our own wounded mothers. I know you mentioned mother wound, and I was like, McGill. Like my bodies, please. And so, you know, our own wounded mothers and the examples that we see and what we see them do. So you mentioned about substance abuse, and we witness women, our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, babying these grown-ass men.
Baby, listen now.
Hard back, man. No, it's okay.
Yes.
I saw that in my life growing up with my grandmom and some of her sons who were problematic. I won't air out my family business here, but I've seen where some of my uncles were doing some ish, guys. You understand? And my grandmother would be worried. She'd be this. She'd call my dad, because my dad is the most responsible child she ever had out of the 9 kids she's had. So a lot was on his shoulders. And you know, I just grew up seeing all the, you know, you had to do something about this one, do something about, and whatever everybody else's problem was eventually became my dad's problem. But I saw the babying aspect of it with my grandmom. That you know what I mean? Well, you know, he can't.
Mothering and smothering.
Like be one of my aunts now. Like be a woman
and
now.
here's what happens,
You
right?
see a different attitude, you know.
If you have to always be a mommy, because you were the little girl who was taking care of everybody, right? If you have to be the mommy in the relationship, you can only be in a relationship with a baby.
I done.
So you always be with the guys who don't know how to do anything. How it is pay a phone, but I have literally had clients who will be in session.
You kidding me?
Hold on, I need to pay my boyfriend bill because he calling. And I'll be like, you know what I always ask them? Before you came along, right? How this man was living.
Exactly.
I just did he eat?
You know who's doing it for him? The previous girl. Unfortunately,
and the mommy
his mother.
and his mom.
Right.
And he's just finding more and more moms.
You know what's intriguing about the whole thing? The day that you decide that you may, I'll say it loosely, stand up for yourself. And you're like, no, you call. Well, that is it. We're going to end. How you expect me to call? Because you have an English speaking tongue in your mouth, pick up your blasted phone and call. Oh, well, you know, you normally do these things. And today I'm not. So now what? So we're just not going to do it then. I've no scene. And
relationship done.
And then, right, or there's a lot of tension, and then
or
at
abuse.
some point, you know, who backs down when you can't take the tension anymore? It's not the person. I go on
No,
and
I have to refer to the chat
Yes,
right now
of
because
course,
we
of
have a
course.
couple questions and someone
Sure.
asked a question that I've been trying to find a pocket to ask you
Yes.
for a minute now.
A what?
So I'll just go through a pocket. So Lord, Kimber, you are on a roll today, girl. All right, so we have Shanice saying hi, ladies, because of course we had to acknowledge
Hi.
everyone. Kimlan Sorayas.
Hi,
ladies. Is
ladies.
Kimlan new? I'm not sure.
Kimlan is new.
Oh,
Hi,
hello, Kimlan Sorayas. Adina is back saying, I'm getting nostalgia watching these clips from last year.
That was
of
on the
course.
ad, yeah.
Daryl Super Sad says hello and good night to
Hello.
everyone. Hi, Daryl. Kareem Rice says good evening. First time listening.
Hi,
hello,
Kareem.
Kareem Rice. Welcome. Lendell Valdez says evening all the ladies of Island Girls Talk. Hope it all is well and good topic as usual. Just was thanking God for my father's birthday, 65. Not
Happy
birthday. All right, may you see many more.
Amen.
We have Fire Wolfman saying, very interesting topic. So question, and I'm going to direct this to you now. Can trauma bonds go both ways in that both persons in the relationship do it to each other?
Ooh,
Now,
wow.
before you answer, this is what I was thinking too. What about, and asking for a friend, maybe not.
All right, okay.
Asking for a friend. But what if you're not the person bonding to the abuser, but you find yourself in that abuser role, and maybe you're like that because of the abandonment you've experienced growing up. We touched on mothers right through. I'm gonna say it right now. My mother was never in the picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you and you know. You reel all through your life from that abandonment, and then you always find yourself in an abusive role where you're the abuser because you must take control of everything, and if things are going a certain way, you have to direct the
'cause
flow.
it's not gonna
Either you
happen again.
end it or you continue it, but you got to control everything, and you end up abusing the person. What do you have to say about that?
It's sad because most people who are abusive, the one biggest thing that all abusive people share, you will always see it, is they cannot take responsibility for themselves. Nothing is their fault. They are actually always the victim. So in most time, it's very rare, not impossible, but very rare, that a person who is engaging in controlling abusive behavior, they come and they tell you, you know, I think I behave in abusive ways towards another person, because they're actually designed against taking responsibility. It's enormous work to take responsibility for hurting another person, because then the next step is, well, then you need to stop.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that is hard, difficult work.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about abuse, you have levels.
Single for 4 years.
Right. You have levels where you're abusing someone and you have them in physical danger. And then you have not in physical danger, because abuse comes in categories.
Of course.
Question,
Yeah, sure.
No, that question.
The mental and the
different
psychological
Yeah.
abuse.
Types of
Yeah, of
Abuse
course.
comes in levels, right? So like something we miss a lot is choking.
Not that kind.
Choking is not the good kind.
What is happening?
It's not the good kind.
It's not the good
Let me
kind.
put it like this:
Kimber.
choking without consent.
Listen.
Yeah. Without consent.
Right.
Sorry.
So when you have people who come and they tell you, well, he choked me, but that's all he did. What happens with the choking is you could die days later, because then the muscle takes days to swell.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
What?
Yes.
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know
they
that.
don't pick it up.
asphyxiation.
So if I have clients whose abusers are in the medical field and they're choking them, I get very worried.
Because they know
They
how
know
to do
where
it.
to press,
Yeah.
and they know how to press and what to do. So abuse comes in different forms. Like there's abuse where I don't want you to question me. I'm the authority in everything. Then there's abuse where I will give you an allowance.
Right. Financial.
Right.
A lot of stay-at-home moms go
Yes,
through
come
that.
on.
Yeah.
There's
Her
a
lot of
husband
stay-at-home
only gave her
moms.
enough money to buy groceries at Massey
Yeah.
stores. Just enough.
So they're not
Never had
hitting.
extra.
Fine, they don't hit, but hitting is just one form of violence. Then there are the guys or the women who monitor your movements. You have all your money, career, they never hit. But you have to check in everywhere.
Yeah.
And you dare not reach home 5 minutes
And
late.
you dare not ask them what they're doing.
And don't ask them what they do. So there are many different kinds. A great book to read is a book called Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. He's a therapist who works with men who come to support groups to recover from being abusive.
Oh, amen.
It is a very heavy read, but it's fantastic.
What's the author?
I think
Lundy.
Lundy.
Lundy Bancroft. It's one of the what we call one of the Bibles in domestic violence work.
Wonderful.
But yes, you do get people in abusive who are abusing each other.
Yes.
Because abuse and the victim, they become abusive in order to protect themselves. And so they start abusing too. Well, I going to get you before you get me.
Right.
And you practice it long enough, it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
And you become abusive.
And it's really just two broken inner children.
Yeah. Coming
sad
together.
Inside,
Coming,
but
yeah.
you know, coming. And that's a lot of, not to simplify what trauma bonding is, but that usually is what it is. The two very lonely inner children.
Yeah.
It's pain meeting pain.
Yeah.
And pain has a way of drawing toxicity. So you could be that little invisible girl, you're a grown woman now, in a stadium with 50,000 people, and you are just going to meet that guy who has the toxicity that just matches your pain, and it's like this.
And you know,
It's not
you know what we call
Like a
that?
moth to
But
a
you know what we call that?
He's the one.
He's the one. And it was these. I looked at him.
I just
and it
looked
was
at
a
him
spark.
and
it
I
was a
felt
spark of
it,
chaos.
and he
Run.
walked up to me, and that was the enemy.
And I've been reading up so much more now, and it's again all over social media. It's that and then I'll toss to you, Chris. It's the moment you get butterflies in your belly about someone, bust it.
Yeah.
Bust it. I no longer wait for the no. As soon as I butterfly,
I get
something's
scared when
wrong.
that happens.
Yeah,
and
as
it
it
doesn't
should be.
happen often.
I
because
get
I'm not
concerned.
easily.
When my clients
You know.
come to me and they tell me it was just butterflies,
No, I don't want
I'm
that.
like, hold up.
Once
we
upon
need
a
to
t-
examine.
The
Once
last
upon a
time
time.
that happened to me,
Yeah.
I was scared shitless.
Nah, the Disney princess.
And messed it
Disney
up.
princess.
Disney princess in me, the happy endings, and again, it talks about being woven into the fabric of our
Correct,
society. It's that he's gonna come and sweep
From
me off my feet,
childhood,
and
yes.
I love
But-
Disney princess movies.
But what if the guy was for real though? It was really for real, but you so damn toxic that you
Look
just
good.
like, you know what, butterflies run.
Well, if you're toxic, you'll bleed all over the guy anyway.
That's
So
it
you have to
matter.
bind up your leg before you, like, you know, fix your bleeding before you.
No, but guys, it was traumatic.
There's your
yes,
expression.
son. Let me tell
We
you.
don't want to bleed on innocent bystanders, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
fix your
Of
mess
course.
and then yeah.
What
Yes,
is it in
yes,
the
yes.
chat?
Yeah, so let me continue. So Firewolfman, we hope that answered your question. Deuce says hello. I love the accent,
Well,
which
all
means
right.
he's not from Trinidad. Big up you, Deuce.
Welcome.
welcome.
Bienvenido, bienvenue.
We have Kimla and Soraya saying, how can you provide support to a friend who is going through this? Most times they are not self-aware. That's for you.
Not
So that's
self-aware, not
actually as
willing
soon
to
as you
own.
said, how can you provide support? My first thing was, do they know?
Right.
Do they know? Yes.
Correct.
And here's the thing, my first line of concern is to the friend who's doing the supporting. Because it's very draining. And I don't like where you're supporting to the point where you're now incapacitated to live your life, because then you're no good to your friend or to anybody else.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think the gentle approach is best. Like, girl, you really feeling good about this thing? How you really fine? Where you really feel?
Yes.
You feeling good? Because I don't know, you know, I see you last week and I find when he leave by you, you wasn't looking right.
So it's good to ask them what they
Just
feel first.
get them to think about it
Yes.
and kind of gently lead them to it. Because if you press too hard and a person does not have the capacity to hold that dark thing about themselves, you can actually send that person way downhill.
Okay.
And that's why
Yep.
therapy is good, because
Noted.
we slowly try to grow that capacity in a very organic fashion. You don't want to yank a person into self-awareness. That's very harmful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason, I guess,
Too
that they're having
abrasive.
trouble
Yeah.
to be self-aware. It's buried so deeply
Exactly.
that if you go, you drag it out, you cause more harm. And then we see that in the toxic cycles where most abusers end up isolating their victims from friends and family who are concerned. But I think a big piece is that the friends and family don't know how to leave the man. He's stupid, excuse me, but I don't know how, but I can't, but he loved me, but he does. And that our approach as people that genuinely care can sometimes, the impact of it is worse. Gotcha.
We have 3 more.
Sure.
Adina is saying, seeing a big man being babied irritates me. Your
Facts.
mother washing
Amen.
clothes, cooking for you, and doing everything for you. She says, I'm like, you're gonna survive without your mother? It's crazy.
Yeah,
Good point. I think that's what we were talking about.
They'll find another
That's
mother.
a red flag, I think.
They'll find another mother.
Yeah.
Right? Trelise Jordan is saying, good evening, ladies.
Good
I think this person is new.
Yes, she is new.
Yeah.
That's
New
my
people
hairstylist.
today.
Hey, big up you, Trelise.
Right? We have Dion's thoughts and feelings saying, wow, tuned in at just the right point. Thank you all for this week's topic. I'm hoping this information can help me help a friend.
Lovely.
That's what we're about.
Yes.
That's what we're about.
It is.
And last one, we have Fire Wolfman saying, thank you. Question comprehensively answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome, my dear.
I have this a question.
Yes.
Can trauma bonding also happen in friendships?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
And you will. So the
That much I know.
all significant relationships in your life are prone to trauma bonding. I broke up with a friend last year. It was so hard.
It hurts bad,
And I actually, if I could show you my phone, it's still hurting so much. I actually booked to see my therapist next week, Friday, right?
Yeah.
And I've been reflecting on it, and it was a trauma bond. Like my pain and her pain are so similar, and they just fit like this.
Right.
And it's after I ended the friendship, in the aftermath, I was like, hang on. I think I was in a toxic relationship with this person. And that shit hurt. That shit really, it's been almost a year, and I'm now like booking therapy again for it. It could happen in friends, parents to children. It happens so much in our workplaces. Like, guys, our workplaces are so abusive and toxic. My therapist, when I was in corporate and complaining about it, she said, it's because of our colonial history. She's like, you have to pick your cotton or else. And she said it to me, and I was shook. She's like, that never occurred to you. I was like, you did it again.
But I have this theory.
That's really interesting.
I have this theory that the effects of colonialism actually lives in our DNA.
It's in your DNA.
And
it is.
To tie this back, I guess, to the whole topic of trauma bonding, if there have been generations and generations and generations of this experience, it takes a really courageous person to wake up to the possibility.
It's a cycle breaker.
And then to do the work, the really hard work about it. So if I can just go back to what you had started talking about with like friendships being possible trauma bonding. There is this work that I have done. I don't know if you know about it, but it's called original pain therapy.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the beginning of my whole journey, child. So, woo! And it gives you the tools to navigate those spaces. It's actually a big piece of the mental health advocacy that I realize I'm super passionate about. And so what original pain therapy is, it's a 5-week course. There's actually one that's coming up. I'll post it on my social soon, but it's a 5-week course, and it dives into the various developmental cycles. So it's prenatal, so you can actually endure trauma in the womb, right? And then you've got newborn stage, toddler stage, childhood, and adolescence. And so the idea is that by the time we are a certain age, can't remember now, so many years ago, we are basically ruined in a sense. And the 5-week course takes you on a really difficult journey back to yourself. To sit with that little girl.
That journey is never easy.
To sit with that little girl or that little boy, and basically you start, and it's another buzzword, you start reparenting yourself. So you learn the ways that you would have been harmed. And I think that the more we can do that, the more we can be aware of things that are trauma bonds in terms of relationships, friendships, workships, all these ships, right? But all of that, to come back to the actual question, what what are some of the things or tips or, I'm really curious now about that helping piece, especially when people aren't turned on to therapy. Me, yes. Did you talk to a therapist about this? I know people let me know. Right. Or when I'm going through difficult things, boop, boop, boop. So Hannah, I need a moment because I'm not okay. But how do we start shifting perspective? Yeah. What ideas do you have that you can share on that?
So for the person who's trauma bonding, I want to tell you that if you sit and label your pain correctly, you're not going to die.
Can you repeat that?
I promise you that if you label your pain correctly, you are not going to die. Right. We have this very primal reaction to facing that darkness in ourselves. Yep. And we run and we run and we run from it instead of labeling it properly. One of the first things you have to do to heal is to label your experience properly. Right. Human beings, we are natural meaning makers. That's why we tell stories. That's why we talk, right? You have to make meaning of your experience. And when you tell the correct story about yourself, it opens the door into healing. And most of us can't. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Stop. Most of us cannot label our experience correctly. And if you don't label properly, you will never get better. Right. Mm-hmm. So when you tell me it's chemistry or great sex or love, and I look at you, I realize, okay, we're not labeling properly. Now I need to give you information. Right. So before I could hit it here in the heart, I'll start here.
Of course.
So he sees you in the day.
No, ma'am.
But you need to ask the
11 p.m. only.
Yes.
Okay. And you cook for him how often? And what did he give you for your birthday?
Right.
How much did he spend on you? You're sure he's single? And I start just planting those little seeds to get them to think for themselves. Yeah. And as I said, you gently lead a person to draw in the conclusion, I feel like something wrong here.
Right.
And I'll say, why you think so?
Right. What do you think is wrong?
What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? And then I'll say, tell me what you saw growing up. So it's this slow, organic capacity building to turn around and face the monster that is behind you.
And you're just the guide.
Can't drag a person.
But you know that's what a good therapist is, right? Yes. A good therapist is not someone, and yes, I'm bashing all that is out there on social media. I said it.
Do it.
A good therapist is not someone who's going to tell you what to do with your lives. And this ties back into what you said with teaching. A good teacher does not just teach you how to do things. Right. A good teacher gives you the tools and the resources so that you can teach yourself. Yes. And a good therapist helps you to uncover those scary things in a safe space with validation, so that when you leave their office, the idea for therapy is not to keep going and going and going and going.
No, there's a shelf life.
You should be able to.
Right? When you've had a good therapist, it's because you get closer to the end of something, and then you can be like,
stand on your own.
Okay, I'm good until the next piece of ish. And then
and then I'll be here. So like I tell people, my job is to make sure you don't need to see me anymore.
Yeah.
All good therapists are working towards making themselves obsolete. That is good therapy.
Yeah.
So first, I want to help you to label your experience accurately. And reparenting, you hit the nail on the head. I'd say, if you had a daughter and she was telling you this, what would you say to her?
Indeed.
And they get so clear.
Yeah.
This thing just goes off and I'm like, yo, will you come out? No, say it to yourself.
And that's when your tears fall, because now they have to find...
And something goes like this. Oh, hang on. I'm the daughter.
Yeah.
And now I'm my parent. And what would you say to yourself?
Yeah.
And then I ask them, when you're with your friends, right? The people who love you and they've been there and it's your tribe, how do you feel? So I get them to name the safety. Mm-hmm. And then I ask them to compare it to how he makes you feel. And it gets clear to like, this is what love feels like. Like, this is how my tribe treats me. And then this is how he treats me. And when I compare it, the math's not like Matson.
Yeah. Before you hop into the chat, Chris, may I share something? It's interesting that you said that. And this is if we bear any souls, we bear any souls. You know, you talk about what would you do, what would you go, what would your tribe say, right?
Mhm.
Or if you were to go to a friend and, you know, layers and layers and layers when you realize, holy shit, you don't have people
Yeah.
that will do that.
Lord?
And that
Emma Jo.
no.
What- what's she really trying to do me today?
I have
happens.
to because
Honestly.
I have had to sit with myself.
Yes.
And I've had to say, hold up.
My circle.
What is a
Examine.
circle? First of all. What is a circle? Does not exist. No existe nada. And then, you know, so it's not always easy for some women to identify and to recognize the patterns of abuse or danger in a significant other, because guess freaking what? Those patterns exist in friendships. Those patterns exist in home.
You're
So
surrounded by them.
that is all that is familiar to you.
Yeah.
And it's only when you, I guess, get to a certain level of, I don't want to say pain, or you really start questioning things. The more you start
get
questioning
fed up
things,
enough.
right? Or one thing happens and it
Yeah.
spirals you, and that's like you tug at the thread and it all comes tumbling down. But it's sometimes difficult for women or for people to recognize how unhealthy certain things are. But I'll tell you from my own experience, when you have yourself, it not matter. The other people will come around. The tribe will come. The healthy relationships will come.
But then,
on
the flip side, there are persons who don't recognize that. They will take and take and take. And just
You know
keep
what the
bending.
thing is? This kind of work takes years, huh?
Years.
Facts on facts.
Domestic violence, because domestic violence is the proper legal term for it. And domestic violence work, a lot of us shy away from it. It is difficult.
Yeah.
It takes years. You know, you work with a client, they make those moves to get out, you put everything in place, and then they drop off. And you wonder, what became of this person? Then they came, you know, they pop up 3 years later. Well, you know, I stayed and we had 2 more kids, and so now I really can't leave. It takes years.
And then you start over.
It is not easy work.
Yeah. You remind me, if you've not yet seen that show on Netflix, Made, MAID.
Oh, yes.
I sobbed.
I'm afraid to watch it.
Oh gosh,
because
it's
of
right
that.
in the line of your
It
work.
look heavy.
It's not
It's
a
somebody that's
it's a
very
series.
famous,
It's
but
a
it's
one
really
made
good.
MAID, and it's right along the work that you
Made,
do.
M-A-I-D.
MAID.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
I sobbed every episode. You know.
Neola said something. And she
Now
said,
you make me want to watch it.
She said
I still
that,
won't watch it. That's still scary.
because I know a lot of women struggle with that. You said that the correct legal term is domestic violence. And that sounds so ugly to people who are
does.
being abused.
Yeah.
Like they can't see it.
There's shame.
You know, that's what happens.
There's shame.
I've taken as much as a year to use that word with a client.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could shock them
Yeah.
into more
Correct.
trauma, and then they drop off from the therapy.
Yeah.
And that's why I said this is years long work.
Yeah.
It's difficult, long, painstaking work, because you cannot undo 30, 40 years of trauma
One session.
in
Two
what?
sessions.
2, 3 sessions a
months,
year?
yeah.
No. And this is what, if you're a young therapist listening in, your goal is not to tell that person leave unless they're in danger.
Right.
So if you weren't thinking about telling her to leave, what would you work on? What would you work on in therapy? You're working on healing, helping her to feel safe in her body before you go to get out. Because what happens is if you push the client to leave, they're just going to end up in another abusive relationship.
Push them into
And it's
somebody
one
else.
abusive relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, because
yeah.
they don't have capacity.
Yeah.
And that's why the work takes so long, because
Yeah.
it takes years to build capacity to leave,
I
right?
see.
Yeah.
Guys, listen.
Check
we
your chat.
missed our last ad at 7 p.m. So listen, we're gonna go to commercial, but we're gonna come right back and continue where we left off. All right, because this is an important topic. Keep it locked to Island Girl Talk right here on our radio.fm.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
Remember when Prophet Benjamin come out as a surprise? Nobody didn't know Prophet was coming. His name wasn't on no flyer, nothing. And Clash just decided to bring him.
No, the memories are few, right? Because we had such a great time based on some photo and video evidence.
All I remember when Forbes pulled somebody from the crowd, a guy from the crowd, and started to talk to the man and ask him about his first time and all kind of things.
I have a question for you, right?
And
Only remember when we get an extra special happy birthday from Michael Teja.
Say happy birthday to you.
The second anniversary party interesting to me because what I see from where it was held to now is a bigger space, everything. That means that O.U.R growing. I'm looking forward to that.
People who never heard the music and the energy before accepting it so well.
I'm a lot of fun. It's something I never thought would happen is that I was on stage singing with the one Queen Omega. You talk to me?
Already taking $3.99. I'll be there.
You're going to get sweaty, so draw on your eyebrows so that when you reach the event, you get sweaty and wind up yourself and rub it to hell off.
Saturday, June 17th at Soundforge, O.U.R Radio's second year anniversary party. And this time we're doing it bigger.
You're gonna get a mix of everything, so get listed right now. It's free. If you're listed. If you're not listed, you gotta give me $100.
Come on down, bring your crew, let me have a nice time.
Samurai Restaurant at 1 Woodward Place is proud to announce the launch of our new dinner and lounge menus, carefully crafted by head chef Chad Lee and his culinary team. Enjoy our lounge with live entertainment and DJ on Fridays and Saturday until 1 a.m. Ask about our late night drink specials. Kitchen closes at midnight. Visit Samurai Restaurant on Facebook and Instagram for details. Call or WhatsApp for reservations at 622-SAKE 622-7253. See you soon. Kampai.
What does it mean to be beautiful? Mama said you a pretty girl. You a pretty girl. Cause when you're born in this world, gotta have the things that'll make a man head turn. Make a man head turn. Is it my thick thighs or my wide round hips? Small waistline with some perky tits. Teddy like my ass cause it looks so fat. They only like my hair when it's relaxed. Relax. You a pretty girl, but pretty is an ugly word. So shout out to the flat ass girls. Shout out to the ones with more kinks than curls. Shout out to the big nose and big lips. Shout out to the ones who ain't got no tits. Shout out to the girl with a teeny weeny fro. Shout out to the ones who ain't got that glow. Cause none of theirs, none of that, none of that. Once sister got soul, sister got soul, sister got soul. Sister got soul, sister got soul, sister got soul. What are the things that make you beautiful? Type of things that feed your soul, that feed your soul. Cause in this world of distraction, have you ever been present? Have you ever been looking in the mirror and I love what I see? Doesn't have to meet your standards of beauty. You can scroll past my pics on IG. I don't need your likes to validate me. Working on my healing self-therapy. Working on my healing, and that makes me pretty. So flat ass girls. Shout out to the ones with more Kingston curls. Shout out to the big nose and big lips.
And we are back, guys. We're back. It's your Island Girls. I'm Crystal Kane.
I'm Lex. And I'm Kemba Joe.
And guys, if you're just joining us, we have been talking about trauma bonds. Are you in a relationship or are you in a trauma bond? And for that, we brought in the lovely Neola Zama, professional therapist.
Doing amazing work out here
for women everywhere.
For sure.
Right? And she has been just giving us gem after gem after gem, nuggets
grabbing up the collar on my shirt,
making us emotional.
Ramful in my hair had it covered because I don't think I have a collar no more.
Kems, what do people say? We have very
actually Lex
chat today.
Yeah, Lex is going to take over the chat for a minute.
We have a couple persons in the chat. Kim Lunn is saying breaking generational bonds is such a rough ride. And Erin is saying, why does this show always save me? So Dion's thoughts and feelings, he does have a question though, and they are asking this question in case it has not been addressed as yet. What can loved ones do to assist those who are suffering through abusive relationships?
I think we
kind of touched on that.
Yes. Yes, it was asked, Dion.
All right.
Yeah, just to summarize, I guess, in case you missed it.
When they start to isolate, don't let them.
Don't let them.
Because abuse thrives in secrecy.
Right.
And the abuser wants to have them all to themselves so that they could just keep the abuse going.
Under control.
Don't let them. Even if they shun you, don't let them.
I guess that looks like what does that look like? Does that look like even though you know you might get ignored, you still send a message?
Yeah. Hey, just checking in. Saw this on YouTube, thought of you.
Yes.
So that if or when the person is ready to look for safety, they will know that somebody's there.
Good.
Right, good stuff.
Love that.
Love that. The next question is, how do you know if you need a therapist?
Adina,
Adina.
If it's bugging you and you had to ask the question, it's a pretty good sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. And Kareem, he is saying, I'm someone who experienced lots of traumatic happenstances in life. It intensified my emotional intelligence so much I become upset when my partner allows others to walk over her. I can't see what that says.
It pains to see.
It pains me to see.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Big up you, Kareem, because not many people can, one, work themselves out of those spaces by themselves. So big up you. And then, of course, for being so supportive to someone who may have trouble standing up for herself. It's not easy. It's easy. It'll be easy.
No, it's hard.
It'll be easy.
We live in a different world to men as well.
True.
So, but I like that he saw it and he's labeling it accurately.
I love that you said that. I promise if you label your pain incorrectly, you're not going
Now, I was
to
going to
die.
ask you ladies a question based on that, but we'll save it for Sip and Spill.
All right, ma'am.
Did you guys read Izzy Real's comment?
Awesomeness.
Oh, we
indeed.
missed it, I think.
Very
yes,
relevant
very
topic.
relevant. No,
Yes,
for real,
we
for
do
real.
have to give us our peeps.
No, for sure.
Indeed.
It's a lot. It's a lot when you think about it. For everyone, but of course, what do you really look for? What are some concrete signs, signals that what really going on here? What can you help us with? Make it tangible for us. Tell it to me like I'm 5.
Some examples.
So the context is usually going to fall into this, right? When I write my book one day,
first in line,
I
copy.
am going to use this. So it's the hook, use, discard.
Okay.
Right?
Hook, use, discard.
Hook, use, discard. There's something that hooks you in. It's exciting. It could be love bombing. Very early declarations of love. Very early declarations of you're the one. So if we got married, like just hypothetically, where you think it would be, right? They pay very, very, very close attention to all the things that you're saying, and they kind of parrot it back to you. It's almost like they're scripting it. They parrot it back. All the right things, perfect guy, you fall into bed very quickly. If you are a trauma survivor, casual sex is not for you.
Say it again.
Wow.
If you are a trauma survivor,
I don't think I have a
casual sex is not for you. You
She wrap
jump.
me up with our camps.
Yeah, it pulls you on the roller coaster at the highest point.
Wow.
It clouds your thinking. Big setup. Don't do it.
You all hearing
Don't
that?
do it.
Yeah?
Walk away,
Yeah.
right?
No, but facts
Yeah.
on
It's
facts.
basic facts. Don't do it. I'm
Don't
telling
do
you,
it.
it messes you
Wow.
up and it clouds your vision. So they hook you with the things. It's great. It's nice. You fall into commitment super early before you even know who this person is. You don't know anything about him. You haven't done the inquiring. You didn't ask the question, does anybody out there think they're in a relationship with you? Do you agree? Like, that's a must in Trinidad.
What's that question? Not if you're in a relationship at all, yeah?
Is there anybody out
else?
there who thinks that they're
In a relationship
and
with
is
you.
she right?
Listen.
Because
Listen.
I'm
No,
so
that's
over
a real
it.
good question.
What does she think about
That's
it?
not a question. That's
Do you agree?
No, but I'm laughing.
And then you
Sorry.
get like, well, she like me.
Right.
but-
So the
And
reason
why
for
does
the
she think
scandal-
so?
Right.
Exactly.
The reason for the scandalosity and not sorry is because no, I am that person to ask those questions, y'all.
Yeah.
I ask those questions and the
I will
kind
ask.
of discomfort or the what you mean?
Once they start,
KJ, if you cannot answer,
it is that
KG.
if a man cannot
run,
answer that,
Sprint.
press out
Immediately.
Everybody needs a friend. That friend who could find anything on Instagram. Call your friend,
Inspector boy.
give them the picture, and if that person cannot find anything, all joking aside, in a little trouble. In a little trouble.
Wait.
Because
if
there's
they don't
What?
have a presence.
if they can't find anything, you can't tell me in 2023 you so private. I can't find you nowhere.
nothing on you anywhere.
I ain't find you nowhere.
Not even a Google search. Come on.
If I not finding you, I tell you I'm hiding something.
But they say
You
they're
are
not into
hiding
social
something.
media.
Good for you. I'll go this way.
They're good at hiding.
No, they
are on
hide.
social media, but they under a different name, an alias, a nickname, something.
That's why I need
Yeah.
the friend, because there are ways to search for pictures.
when I going home.
Google image search.
It's a reverse search. It's a reverse image
That's how we learn
search.
catfish.
So I'm saying
I go home.
catfish was before its time.
I taking off my headset and I'm going home.
So you have the things.
Ken, but Joe, are you that friend?
I
Are you the
know.
friend?
I am not. I am just
You're not the
reflecting.
inspector.
I am not. No, I'm not Inspector Gadget. I am the person. I'll sit with. I'm the therapist. I'll sit with you. You will cry buckets. I'll ask the
Judgment-free
gentle
zone.
but hard questions. Yeah, all those things. But I know the investiquires. And I just need to have them on speed dial and thing now.
Yes.
Because what's this?
Yeah.
Really this?
So they do all these things. It's great. Very early sex, very early commitment, early declarations as love and the one. But you can't answer basic questions about him. You're in a little trouble. You need to mash the brakes. Another big sign is if you decide you want to take it slow, or you put in like your standards and your boundaries, they get very testy with you. They get very nippy. You feel it too nice.
Oh gosh.
They ghost you.
Right.
You know how much women I leave out to be with you? Okay, go by them. And people
A man
actually
would be
tell
mad
women
to
these
tell me
things,
that.
Yeah.
Monkey know what trees are climbing, you know? Monkey
Nobody ain't
really
telling
know
me
what
that.
trees are climbing, you know?
But they
I
say
want
that.
to see the man who would tell me that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've
I'm
not-
I'm
I feel like
insisting
you'll beat
with
him up.
me.
I've not met that man yet.
But does that happen in the reverse though? Where they have all of the boundaries. They have the boundaries and they're like
Yes.
very
What you want to know.
But
or
is that private or secretive? So there's a difference.
what is the difference? Help us understand.
So
it.
like private is I am very careful with who I share vulnerable information with. Like you've earned my trust. Secretive is we dating, we having sex. I can't exchange bodily fluids with somebody, but I don't want to exchange where I live. My address. That makes no sense. So you're telling me you're okay with the fluids. But you can't tell me where you work and where you living. But that's secretive. We have a problem there.
Right.
If there's fluids exchanging, you could tell me almost anything.
You should be able to.
You should be
and
able
if you can't,
to.
then we shouldn't be exchanging fluids.
If you can't and you're cagey and you're hesitant, we have a little problem there. You're with somebody cagey. They're hiding something, right?
Yeah.
And all of these are red flags. Expecting you to be at their beck and call. They only call in the night. They only want food. They only want something. Right? All of those things are red flags. And if you are seeing a pattern of the hook and they use you, and as soon as they get what they want, you cannot find them.
Stay gone.
Problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it possible that trauma bonds cannot be so... I know the answer to the question. I know that it is possible for trauma bonds to not be so obvious, right? Those are the really obvious ones. And I feel like those are the ones where... It's not that they're not popular. I don't want to invalidate anyone who may be in that kind of situation. But I'm more curious about the ones that aren't so obvious.
Under the radar.
The subtle, what are the subtle signs? So maybe I know where he living. Maybe I know where he working.
Right.
Maybe he's not as cagey with those obvious things. What else? Let's go deeper. What else?
Is he available though?
Right.
Like they could give you all the things and tell you all the things, but is he available? Like, could you cry? Could you cry with him?
Right.
Does he listen? Can he be vulnerable with you? So he takes you. He takes you everywhere, and you know all the things, but you're not with him.
Yeah. Oh, I
not
like
with
you,
him.
Neola.
I don't like
Neola,
That's
I
unavailable.
Like you. I don't like this.
You turned off the headset with me. We're going.
I want to just add to what you're saying.
Sure.
Thank
A
you
lot
for
of
that,
what-
by the way.
Indeed. What you're saying is kind of from the perspective of the abuser, but now I want to flip it. And from the perspective of the victim now, what are those signs in yourself? What can they recognize within themselves?
So you feel very anxious early on.
It's the butterflies.
Yeah, it's the butterflies. You feel an intense sexual chemistry that overrides reason. You feel an urge to perform. You start studying all of the sex positions. Your taste changes. Whatever he likes, you like.
You like too.
You are a beef eater, and then you suddenly telling everybody to watch Cowspiracy on Netflix. Like, I've actually seen this. I've seen girls who I know could throw down a steak and eat out. Like, you will out
Texas de Brazil.
any man. And then you are now, guys, Cowspiracy. Sis, have some letters.
So it's that
you're
molding.
changing.
That molding
to suit
them.
him. To suit him.
At the abandonment
You're
of
rushing
your
in.
own.
Yes, you're rushing in to fix everything. Nobody
You're
asks you
covering
for
for
help,
him.
but you're rushing in to fix everything. You're planning the wedding. You've named the kids after one date. You're allowing him to come over at 11 p.m. before you even know this guy.
You're putting plasters on little things to
Yeah,
make him seem perfect.
you're making excuses. You
Yeah.
feel anxious. You're feeling torn up.
Blaming yourself for his
You're feeling torn
behavior.
up. Yeah, and you get that, and all women have this. It's this little crazy switch, and like you could just kind of feel it go off in the back of your brain.
Ma'am, that's where I going.
When you start to feel that crazy creeping in, I want you to sit still and ask yourself, why when I meet this guy, am I acting and feeling cray? Like, I was good. I was good
For
before.
real though.
But something about this guy is just, I just want to jump out my whole self. That's just, you see when that crazy switch go off?
Signs.
I am telling you, you need to sit still.
I
Step back
remember
from it.
Time.
Tell us. When?
that one person. You know?
I think we all have that one person,
And
so you're not
was
alone.
This was, I would say, about between 12 to 15 years ago. I still had a day job and things now. You know, I wasn't full-fledged, you know. So, this man had me bazadi.
Chupid.
You understand? D chupid.
Listen.
And let me tell you, what I tell you, and he read me like a book because he knew I'm not the typical kind of girl that you could get. Listen, mind games.
He learned all
mind
of you.
games. All of me, the man,
They study
everything.
you. They study you.
And you just said something interesting. Read me like a book. There's a certain amount of, oh my gosh, I love that he can read me like a book. No, now I'm feeling like, stop.
Right. But let me tell you why they read us like a book. And this is why I told you I like Taylor Swift. It's me, I'm the problem. We overshare because we want to hook them in. Like we want that bond and that
We're
thing.
so desperate
and the
for the
oversharing.
bond.
That don't work at all,
Yeah, the oversharing is a trauma response to, right, it's see me, like accept me, pick me, love me. And so we overshare and we kind of miss that we did overshare. And so you've exposed everything. So of course, those toxic people are going to study it like a book because you've given them the book.
I go on.
You've given them. Yeah, we give them. I do it too, you know.
He was
I've
very
done it.
instrumental, when I said never again to this day.
Listen, Crystal.
Never again,
Crystal, once upon spill reach and this chair is empty. Know that. I go on.
Listen, I can't come with no out of time in question.
You know what's one of the biggest signs when you're healing and we mistake it is when you feel bored by the good guys and you start sabotaging those healthy relationships.
No, facts on facts.
Huge sign that you're healing.
Just point me out why I don't Just
point
me out.
And I did that.
And I love
I
the
did
good
that
guys.
in my
I love
marriage.
good guys and
I did it.
sabotage
Yeah.
it.
I did it.
But you know what's also I think very powerful? It's when you can recognize, wait a minute, pause for cause. Am I sabotaging?
Yes.
Because the moment that you can stop and think, what if it's me? Hi.
I did that.
It's me. Then thanks. Then you're well, that's a good first step
Excellent
to have
step.
because
It
then
is.
and I mean honestly, when you can start questioning, the moment you can sit down and be like, pause, hold on. Self.
Yeah,
What's
really
what's
doing?
going on here?
Yeah.
And then you sit with yourself, it's so funny. Just this weekend, actually, I had a month.
Right.
Wasn't quite great. I was like, hold on. But I sat with myself and I was like, how much of this is me being triggered because I have unhealed things, or how much of this is,
My
bad
toes
signs?
curl up.
Right? And I said, okay, self, what are the facts? And I said, fact this, fact
Let's
that,
not create
fact this,
a
right?
scenario.
What is the, and then Brene Brown, she asks or has presented a perfect question. What's the story that I'm telling myself? The story that I'm telling myself is this person don't care. They don't know time. That one reality is maybe they was sick. Maybe they was, I don't know, it had Champions
busy.
League on the weekend, I
struggle with that.
The moment you can sit and say, okay, fact, the story that I'm telling myself is, and then you can start seeing the similarities, the differences, then if you have fact and if you're able to see fact, it's not so bad. But
I like that exercise.
If all you're doing is making up this or going on the story that you've made up,
Right.
filling in the gaps that you've created or that you're working on, that gets you into a space of rumination and overthinking. More than that, I think it's really important, and I gauge all of my ships off of this one now. How well do we solve conflict?
Yeah.
Because someone who's into that hook, use and discard, and I had to write it down. Someone who's into that hook, use, discard is not going to be able to and or willing to sit down and talk with you to come to a resolution of sorts.
Exactly.
There's different types of conflict. There's I just need you to know everything that's going on. And then there's no resolution. But how well can we disagree? How well can we have discord? And how well can we work through that together?
That's a good point. You know what happens? I like that you said that. Conflict is usually resolved by the sex.
Yes.
Let me just shut her up with some, right?
Sex.
Right.
And nothing gets solved. There's no repair.
Right.
One thing.
Right.
So the trick is not to never have conflict. It's how do you repair?
Yeah, because conflict is
There's no
inevitable.
repairing happening. There's just sex.
Yeah.
And you just quietly go along
Let's put a nice little blanket.
and
over
everything
that.
is building up inside.
And then what happens is that's then the getaway. So okay, I gave this to this person, and then they disappear again. Because to them, that's the conflict resolution happen. Enable.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah, that's what she said. What she was saying, and them resurfacing again.
Yeah. And then we say, oh my God, he loved me. He come back earlier. Or, oh my God,
Yes,
he
you
thinking
see?
about me.
You see, he came back. I'm special.
No, baby.
I'm special, yeah. But it's not that.
Yeah.
Very... Okay, I might stay.
Thanks for staying with us, Cambodia.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Wow.
Let's just jump in the chat real quick,
Yes.
see what's popping.
we
I
have, like, 2
was
more.
not there. Yes. Ooh, a Dinah motivation. I always try to avoid conflicts.
Yes.
What
Why,
would you
babe?
say to... Why, babe? Right?
Yeah. What does it mean? Conflict means what to you?
Yeah, sitting.
What
I
does
think
that mean?
sitting and being able to ask ourselves those kinds of questions would help, and then enlisting the help of a licensed therapist. Y'all, therapy saves lives.
It does.
It does.
Therapy gives you access to the best version of yourself if you're willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And we have a wonderful, wonderful lady. Adina, I feel like, give Neola a little call,
Neola
message.
Zama. Before we go, we're going to get some info from her so you guys will know just how to reach her.
Yeah.
But guys, I think that's all the time we have for today's topic.
It is.
Okay, I wish we could go on and on, but guys.
We'll have it for part 2, part 3,
Yes.
part 4.
Yes.
As
How
much
about
as-
I'm going to just toss it into the universe once a week?
Right. Hannah,
Once a
Neola,
month.
she thinks we didn't already have this conversation.
Oh, sorry, good.
You know?
Say less.
Yeah, come
You're
on.
late.
Late to the party.
You know
Okay.
what?
A girl don't stick,
I don't mind being late for this. I'm not late for anything else. Including, if I may plug real quick, don't be late. Including don't be late for
Indeed.
O.U.R.'s 2nd anniversary happening.
Nice segue.
Oh, lovely.
On June 17th, down at Soundforge. Doors open at 8 p.m. Show starts at 9
If you
p.m.
come at 12, you will miss 3 hours
Not just that.
of the show.
Not just that, but you had to give Jarrell head jam it.
Oh, for
$100.
Indeed.
I said what I said.
And she will take it from you.
Get listed if you're not already listed. 466-4OUR. That's 466-4687. Or email us at party@OURradio.fm.
Awesome. Guys, if you're just joining us, we just wrapped topic of the day. Are you in a relationship or are you in a trauma bond? Right? If you missed it, you know what to do. Go back and play it back. You can watch it 1,000,000 times if you want. Remember to like and share this live stream. Like it. And subscribe.
This
All
was a
right?
hot
Share
one,
it
guys,
with your
so
friends.
share it.
Indeed. We're going to take a quick break, but we have more show for you still, and we're going to put Neola in the hot box. Guys, we were not going to put her in the hot box. We were all like, Neola is a therapist. We don't want to put her in a hot box, her community, that kind of thing. We asked some kind of crazy question. She's like, put me in the hot box, please.
No, you have to say what she said.
What
she said was, I am a person first. Yes.
Right?
So she wants to be a part of it.
Yes.
So
Love
we
it.
are including her.
I like that. That's for all of us out there, though.
Indeed.
We are people first before all of the other things.
Yeah.
But let me go to commercial because we will talk.
Mario says, good show,
Oh, yes.
ladies. I learned. Thanks. And then he learned
Mario.
good. Thanks. And then Fire Wolfman said, segue for your money.
Hey.
Kemba Joe.
Hey.
Guys, keep it locked to Island Girl Talk right here on OURradio.fm. We will be right back.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
The laws of the game say the lines contain it. But contain it, they fail. Cross the line, move the line, break the line. This game forever grows, forever spreads. No corner of society out of bounds. A cultural force no whistle can stop. The court dimensions may be set, but this game is ever expanding. The spirit of the NBA.
All I remember when it says Choppy came out on stage and then he dropped the literal best drill version of Captain.
Hey, Choppy. My girl is sweet like pineapple, is sweet like tangerine.
All I remember when what's she name? From all the show? Allison. Is Allison?
Yes.
All I remember when I wind up on Allison.
So the vibe will be from the Jamettes crew basically. That's support crew. The flag woman.
Seeing the response from the crowd, because normally you play rock and everybody will be like, oh, what is that? But the response from the crowd was amazing.
Bring Kuta.
Yeah. I swear, baby, not pretending. Yeah.
Memories don't live like people do, they say, but I assure me and my TTNL crew, we don't have much memories from last year. My phone had a lot of pictures, some of them were of me.
All I remember when Jamettes take the stage, boy. I personally just look at this team like the chemistry just unbelievable with these three women, boy.
Just being on stage with Nyla Blackman and Michael Teja, they had this special dance.
Already think free $3.99. I'll be there.
You're going to get sweaty, so draw on your eyebrows so that when you reach the event, you get sweaty and wind up yourself and rub it to hell off.
Saturday, June 17th at Soundforge, O.U.R radio's 2nd year anniversary party. And this time we're doing it bigger.
You're gonna get a mix of everything, so get listed right now. It's free if you're listed.
Samurai Restaurant at 1 Woodward Place is proud to announce the launch of our new dinner and lounge menus, carefully crafted by head chef Chad Lee and his culinary team. Enjoy our lounge with live entertainment and DJ on Fridays and Saturday until 1 a.m. Ask about our late night drink specials. Kitchen closes at midnight. Visit Samurai Restaurant on Facebook and Instagram for details. Call or WhatsApp for reservations at 622-SAKE 622-7253. See you soon. Kampai.
I'm a dime boy. Besides you, got money on my mind. So these other girls, I ain't got time for them. What's going on, baby girl?
Damn, you got this thing on lock. Know what to touch to make my heart stop. Oh, you hit all the right spots.
Know you like that.
Don't got to tell you what to do. Then you turn me around. Then I back my hands around the ground. I bite my lips, try not to make a sound. I'm feeling every inch of you.
Come on.
You make a girl feel special. Some type of way. Special. You make a girl feel special. Some type of way. Special.
If you got the time, we could do this. Okay, we can sip a little vino or something. Take a couple shots like free throw or something. Invite a friend, make it a 3 or something. And I'll always be there like a hero or something. You know, you just gotta let me know if you with that. Let me know. If not, well, then forget that. Old girl's calling, but no get back. You look good with me, no mismatch. I just wanna pick you up. I just wanna lay you down. I wanna get in and cause I wanna hear those sounds. In a room filled with people, there's nobody else around. Cause a dime boy knows when it's worth something and you're worth it. Cause you're perfect. Sparks.
Special. Some type of way. Special. You make a girl feel special. Some type of way. Special. You know exactly how I want it. Love the way you work it. Touch and kiss and feel it. Special.
Come here, girl.
So special.
Special, you know that. You know you got it.
So special. You make a girl Summer days, we came to play. All you get leaves me dazed in love. All the play of disarray, emotions bring. How can we fall in love? All the sunrise had no patience for me, oh my love. No, all the sunset had no patience for me, oh my love. Must we pause tonight? You're mine until the light wash the moon rise, till we sunset side by side.
We are back, guys, with more show for you. It's your Island Girls. I'm Crystal Kane.
I'm Lex.
And I'm Camber Joe.
And of course, we have the lovely Neola Zama in the
Woo-hoo!
house of Neola Zama Consulting. Guys, she is a professional therapist, and she was here with us, helping us to explore the topic of trauma bonding. And we learned some things today, guys.
Drag
was a nice topic, you know.
Oh, I'm surprised I still have hair because
she wrap you up, you know, Camber. She wrap you up.
She wrap you too. That's
She wrap me again.
She wrap
all of me Just ruffle.
Thank God the screen was on her when I was experiencing the raffle.
But it was such important stuff.
Yes.
Neola, we can't thank you enough for sharing your wisdom.
Indeed. You know you're coming back, right? Yeah.
She's planning my outfits.
I like planning the outfits. I like that.
Indeed. But guys, of course, y'all know what time it is. We're about to put Neola Zama in the hot box. So it's time for Sip and Spill. Choose.
I have to choose
Let's
you.
get Neola in on that. Yes, indeed. Eyes, guys.
It's the expression.
Indeed, very posh. Where we sip. And we spill.
Most definitely.
What are we gonna spill? Well, you're about to find out, and so is Neola.
But before we do that,
But before we do that, yes, girl, I love how you keep me on track.
always, because
yes,
this thing was fresh. That
Big up you.
It hit my chest and it was nice.
But guys, of course, Sip and Spill is sponsored by Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider, and of course, we're gonna do a little due diligence. Yes, these things. One sip of Caribbean and my head gone.
No curse.
Long time,
Curse.
Right?
Be better.
I'm a lightweight.
Curse be better.
I'm a lightweight.
We are a curse be better.
All right, guys. So we're about to dare into the unknown with Caribbean Hard Cider's all new flavors. Caribbean Brut and Mimosa. And discover a taste that's perfect for you. Still gluten-free and all natural. So you can enjoy every moment guilt-free. Caribbean Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
Don't let the reaction.
Listen, I had a chance
responsibly.
I had a chance you for that
love it.
because I had a chance you for that.
And with that, we commence.
Sip and Spill segment.
Listen, Neola, you ready? Ready yourself. Ready yourself. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Yes, I.
Okay.
All right, I'm wrong today. Right. I actually like this question a lot.
Right.
But Neola, for you specifically, Neola the person, right? Not Neola the therapist.
The woman.
Would you open an envelope that has the date of your death inside?
Oh, gosh, we go in there already. All right.
Yeah, jump out.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think I'd do it.
Yeah?
I would do it.
Why?
You would open it?
I suffer from anxiety, and not opening that envelope will kill me dead.
Before the actual date.
Yeah. So it'll be funny if I open it and it said today. I'll be like, damn.
Yeah, but at least you opened it because
I'll need to open
it would have been today anyway.
My
if you
anxiety
didn't open
would not
it.
allow. So yeah.
Ladies, we tackling that. We all tackling that.
I would like to. I would like to see. For me, the answer is yes.
Yes,
and it's not necessarily because of my anxiety. Oh no, that's not true. Maybe it is.
What was the question?
And it's would you open an envelope that has the date of your death inside?
Oh, okay.
And it's not because I would simply wither away if I don't do it. It wouldn't eat away at me, but it will be out of a very sick curiosity to find out when. It's like I'm not afraid of death or dying. I'm really not.
Same.
But there's some guilty pleasure about knowing when that might kick me in my butt to do other things.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the only reason I
or
would.
if, I were to see, it's 8:59. Okay, fine. Well, I would be content knowing that I lived all of my life because I'm really not afraid of dying. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Nicole is ready to throw me away.
All of the wheels are turning in my mind. Everything you said makes sense.
Yeah.
However, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
No.
How come?
No. I don't embrace death as well as you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So it won't be easy for me to do that.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's true.
I'm with Cams on this. I'm not afraid of dying at all. But I would if I wouldn't like to know the date right now, like as we speak. But if I'm presented with the date by some,
envelope
miracle, I would open it just to know how much time I have to act a damn fool.
Not get right with the Lord.
I mean,
Not
just
get right with the
do
Lord.
every damn
Yeah,
thing that
everything.
I've been afraid of doing, and because why? Because why?
Well,
Because
then
now
do
we
it.
have this known
Window.
limited
Yeah,
amount
yeah.
of
Yeah.
time.
Timeline.
Yeah,
It's
Tangible.
now defined.
Yeah.
Time is now defined.
yes. For that reason only.
Yeah, I already
Because
wanted that.
Ordinarily, I'd be like, no, I don't need to know. Like, come when it come, but
Yeah.
it would kind of help me because
I'd be like, oh, what's this?
let's go do this. Let's
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna die.
Yeah,
I could do this.
yeah.
Right, it's true.
Let's go
It's-
jump out a plane.
You have
twice,
time.
Yeah.
You don't have time, so don't
Yeah.
bother with that. Let me shift priority. Thanks, Olia. That was, you all know I don't always like to ask those kind of
Dark.
scary questions, but it was on my mind, so out with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go next?
Of course. Fair enough.
So this question is based on the conversation today, right? This is what I was going to ask you guys earlier, but sip and spill.
Oh, yes, you did say that.
So Neola, you spoke about being able to label your experience, label who you are, that kind of thing. I want to know, how would you guys label yourselves in this story called life, your life?
I like that.
I have to go first because I only
Yes.
want to see that.
And then spill, baby.
I am complicated. Yeah.
That's all right.
I think people see me and they think nice, quiet, soft, ladylike, but there's some layers there that came from places you might be very surprised. I'm not easy to be friends with. I think I'm a hard person to be friends with because I'm complicated,
Yeah.
and I'm not the easiest person to love. I think my friend's brave. I think my husband is a brave guy.
Big up husband.
Because I
Big up
complicated, yeah. I love him.
Neola, you saying some things.
Just Trinidad.
You got me a little emotional.
When I laugh,
because you've been
yeah.
saying some things that I say about myself a lot, and I'm like, you saw me right there. I'm like,
Yeah.
like what you really doing?
Drag. We have no more edges, Olia.
I rough on the last one.
Lord, lot of mercy.
Lot of mercy.
Neola, what are you doing to us
Nah,
today?
important stuff. I like that question.
I like it too.
Ask me again so that I can be ready with my answer.
So based on what Neola talked about today, she spoke on being able to label yourself.
Yeah.
Label your experience.
Yeah.
And in other words, identify who you really are.
Yeah.
So how would you? label yourself, your experience in this thing we call life?
I would say that I will label I'll label my experience as kept too close to my chest. I've gone through a lot of things and I just don't speak about it because of not necessarily having safe spaces. And because of that, I would say that I'm multi-layered. Not so much, I don't know if I'll say complicated necessarily. Maybe I am, and I've not figured it out. Complex. Complex is just that there are many layers. So you see this bubbly person, and that is who I am. Like, there's no if, buts, or maybes about it. And then, you know, if you hear my story, or if I'm brave enough to tell my story, you're like, what? Yeah, girl. Yeah, dude. This is what it is. And yet still, I'm here in genuine, bubbly, full of joy. Mad work. Hell hard work.
Right.
But yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. Camber Joe.
Next, you ready? Will I have a choice?
You always have a choice.
Actually, you have one chance to plead the fifth.
No,
but we're not giving it to you.
We will, okay. No, but I think it's a trend. I don't know, like, it got me thinking if it's something that we all struggle with as women, in terms of our many layers and people not really being able to understand where certain things would come from. You know, people not knowing the true us because we don't let people in.
Yeah.
I always say, you know, they talk about the strong friend and who's going to be there for the strong man. Friend, me. That's me.
It's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
You're the problem.
But again, it's because it's not easy to let people in.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dare to say something different.
No, it's different.
Okay.
But I can relate to that. So yes, the reason I want to ask this question is because what you said, it resonated with me, and I thought to myself, hi, I'm Crystal and I'm such and such, like an AA.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is what made me tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would, and it has, I have to tell the truth, right? We can't come and act here on this show. This is not what it's about. So my experience, I think, would be labeled as abandonment issues. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about it.
That's all you got to say.
Because I will lose my shit.
That's all you got to
say.
I think that's very brave of you to say it out loud like that.
I know.
Whew. Yeah. Big up.
And a lot of my problems that I have when it comes to relationships, both romantic and platonic, stem from that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I applaud you for saying that.
Yeah, that's courage. That's courage. That's courage. That's courage.
Damn it, let's move on.
Yes, let's move on. Lex, what you have?
So, kind of similar, kind of not. My first question is, what is your toxic trait?
Ooh.
Yeah, but did you just
I am too quickly aggressive.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I choose violence real fast. Mama, I was telling you earlier.
Navy's a little more again. I thought I heard whack. Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
So Navy was pointing at me. Navy, I can't believe you.
Oh my God.
Mama, I was telling you earlier what I told my husband, that I am the matches.
Right.
The things that I sometimes want to tell people, they're so unchristian like.
Oh.
I am very often throughout the day just taking things to the Lord and ask, like, could you write this email over for me, Jesus? Because this is not good.
It's not me.
Yeah. Quick to choose
I have
violence.
conversations with my cousin all the time. She's like my confidant, and I'm like, girl, I need some deliverance from my mind.
Yeah.
That is my big thing. Like, I can't, like, I know people think bad thoughts all the time, but girl, you cannot take that to dive into my
sometimes
mind.
I
You will
talk
come
to
out
myself
mangled.
and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And it's funny that you say
Why?
that. I think my toxic trait is that I don't get angry enough.
Oh.
My relationship with anger is now becoming healthy. And it, it's all tied into not allowing yourself to feel, so you shove it down. There's the explosive anger. I am implosive.
Question, maybe, do you think you might be afraid of what might come out if you give into it?
Always, because I didn't learn how to be safe with anger.
Interesting.
And so my toxic trait is that I feel like I don't get angry enough, often enough. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. And it really is until it's not. And it doesn't even, some people say, well, then you're taking and you explode. I will just implode.
I think that's a little dangerous.
It is. It's the other side of difficult. And it used to manifest itself in sickness. So because it stays inside.
There's this book I want you all to read called The Myth of Normal.
Writing it down.
And in one of the early chapters, he cites a lot of studies with women who suppress how they manifest. And they manifest often in autoimmune diseases and fibromyalgia. And there are all these studies coming out now that's saying that suppressing is making us sick.
Yeah.
Which therapists have known since forever, but we want the science to agree, right?
So now I'm choosing violence. Now it's like, oh my God, Kim, that's not like you. Listen, you do it with your whole chest. And I've been doing it in little things first, speaking up on the little things. Not so if it bothers me, I don't care if it does not seem significant to you. I have to say it for me first. Yeah, so I'm choosing violence now, y'all.
Great. Yes.
Congratulations. Here.
Come to the side.
God.
All right. How about we do one after this?
Yeah,
one more. And then,
You did your toxic trait already?
Oh, no.
No, yes, it's true. Sorry, I just thought it was autumn.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, all right. So let me do mine.
You do yours.
One day we looked at you.
So I would say mine is two things: shutting people out. Because of that lack of trust, I don't do new friends easily. So I feel like if I do allow you in my space and we become friends,
it's a privilege.
It's like not only that, but it's really me letting my guard down. And then if you mash up that, hard luck for you. Time no coming back. I want to hear. That's what it is. Right?
Aww.
And the other side to that I would say is my toxic trait is sometimes I don't have enough patience.
Oh,
so
gosh.
kind of ties into that. Maybe the person doesn't slip up a little bit.
Give grace.
Maybe, yeah.
To try again.
But I would just be like, no.
Yeah.
How's your conflict resolution?
What conflict resolution?
How's your conflict resolution?
I'll tell you how it is. I write a letter, right? And put it down.
And that's it.
That's it.
No, that's
because
not
then
okay.
for some reason I got everything out. And this was just recently. My friend I was reeling from something that I thought was buried long ago. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do, Ella? What do I do?
Those are the worst
and she's like, you know what you should do? Write them a letter. I'm like, write letter. That's how you give that. Write a letter to them. And then she's like, no, write the letter. Right? It's mainly for you. And in the end, you'll know if you need to send it or not. And I wrote it out and I was like, and I no longer feel burdened and I no longer felt like I want to have a mini breakdown, you know, which it was really affecting me.
Yeah, that helps
and then,
a lot.
It's in my drafts now.
Brilliant.
I feel really good.
You wrote it on a laptop?
Delete
Delete it.
And if you, for added impact, if you want to print it out and then rip it to shreds, or light a match to
I like burning it better.
Yeah, burn it.
Yes,
most definitely.
And then buy a nice metal bin just for those things, you know.
Yeah,
just watch it.
Dramatic.
Yes.
I love it.
Very dramatic.
Love it. Yeah.
My middle name.
Perfect.
Am I the drama? Yes,
Am I the drama?
Yes, I am. Right.
So that was a nice
mine.
one. Yeah.
My toxic trait is, of course, similar to Lick's here. I push people away. I don't just shut them out. I push, kick, and shove. Go from here, even if I want them to stay. That's my toxic trait.
Before they could abandon you.
Even when I know they won't. Something wrong.
But you make sense. Remember, you make sense.
And these are only things that I can identify now because I've been having all the therapies over the last, I would say, on and off for the last
7 or so years.
That's good stuff, man.
Excellent.
So-
I love that.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You
All
know.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so one
Problem
more.
identified. One more round.
Okay, so this one is to shake it up a little bit, lighten it up. We started with careful. We started with envelopes and death dates, and then of course toxic traits. But what's the first thing you do if you woke up and it was a Freaky Friday? So you saw that movie, right? Freaky Friday.
I switch with somebody.
Yes. But you switch with a guy. So like we all woke up and we were men. What's the first thing you will do?
Just the thought of that makes me feel icky.
That's just so odd.
So I'll switch with my husband because he lives home with me.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a PG-13 thing or like...
No, you can do
Sip
your
and
thing.
spill.
We're all
Yeah.
adults.
I
here.
would have sex with myself
Oh, wow.
to see what that feels like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like to see
that
it
is
from his
interesting.
perspective.
Yeah. Understand what he sees, what he experiences.
Yeah.
I would literally do that one. I have to figure out how it works.
This is such a morbid.
Yeah.
So weird.
What do you mean? I have to figure out how it works. I don't have one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have... Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
just trying to think of my answer.
I don't even want to think about what it's gonna feel like as a man. I love being a woman.
And that's why it's such an upside down question, because as I love being a woman, but I have curiosity. I'm like,
I have
what?
a feeling I will be like,
How does this work?
get me out of this body.
How does this work?
You might
I need
like
to
it
know how this works, because you see and you hear so many different things, and women, we are the objectified ones. We are the ones that are always in the spotlight with our own parts everywhere. No, let me put your parts outside. Let me see.
I know what I would do.
No, what would you do?
I would get into a physical fight with another man. Because I had some rage since I'm 13 years old. Girl, we have to go to the smash room.
We need to go to the rage room, yes.
Leola, we're going to the smash room.
I'm
There's one
into
in
it.
Trinidad where you
Yeah.
can smash everything else. All your
Super
rage and
into
stuff.
that, yeah.
But if
You know, you can carry your own plates.
Yes. Yes.
I heard that.
And
I was like,
items that has trauma attached to it. Yes.
We're going.
a smash date. Boom. Let's do it.
Yes, I will get into a physical fight with another man. I'll just go and pick a fight like you. You look like a douche, you know? And slap him hard and be like, just so I'd slap him again. Slap him enough until he gets so mad that he has no choice but to retaliate and just like,
So then he could
Get it out. Yeah.
even if he beat my tail, I just want to fight somebody.
So Crystal going to Fight Club.
So if ever presented with that option, I had to be a man for a day. Y'all will just be playing with the old ding-a-ling, and I'll just be opposing people all over the place. Like
She
they want
might come
something
and
with
kick
me
you all in the balls.
So,
That's what she'll
Listen,
do.
it's so funny that you said kick him in the balls, because that was going to be my No, because I need to know if it is meant to be exaggerating, right? Because you know they talk about, you know, you always get on with period cramps and whatever, but we get hit in the balls and it's like, I want to know if it really does hurt
maybe
that
does it
much.
really hurt? I believe them because it's so, you know, these men like to act like they're so tough and buff, and yet the very core of their being is also delicate.
It's
So
true.
they want to
Tender.
treat us like we are
They are
so
very delicate.
and emotional, and you know, when the core of us, you could kick us there all the time, we're not feeling nothing. You know? So what does that say?
I am still stuck on you because I'm playing with your ding-a-ling.
If I'm being honest, if I had to turn into a man,
That's what you do.
but
that's why I asked the
I want to fight, and I hope I hope I turn into a man like my dad. Over, you know, he had big muscles
Big,
over the
like
years.
rock.
I hope I'm built like that, so I could really pack in a punch. You know, yeah.
Thanks. I think that was the best question.
We being
ever.
honest, right?
Oh my God.
And with that,
You ready? Okay, she's ready. One more time, Kev. And with that, we're up. Sip and spill segments. Oh my goodness,
Kemba
I
is
can't
weak.
with you. Guys, one quick break, and we will come back with Kemba and let's talk trends. Keep it locked to Island Girl Talk.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
The laws of the game say the lines contain it. But contain it, they fail. Cross the line, move the line, break the line. This game forever grows, forever spreads. No corner of society out of bounds. A cultural force no whistle can stop. The court dimensions may be set, but this game is ever expanding. The spirit of the NBA.
Samurai Restaurant at 1 Woodbrook Place is proud to announce the launch of our new dinner and lounge menus, carefully crafted by head chef Chad Lee and his culinary team. Enjoy our lounge with live entertainment and DJ on Fridays and Saturday until 1 a.m. Ask about our late night drink specials. Kitchen closes at midnight. Visit Samurai Restaurant on Facebook and Instagram for details. Call or WhatsApp for reservations at 622-SAKE 622-7253. See you soon. Kampai.
Live.
And we're back with more Island Girl talk. I thought Nicole was bringing us in, but hey, it's true. It's time for Let's Talk Trends. Let's take it away, Nadal.
All right. So the first one we're talking about today. So we know the Jaguar was everywhere, right?
The Jaguar that scrape up the man.
Y'all, the authorities have confirmed there is no Jaguar.
Of course
no
not.
truth
Serious?
to it occupying any area within Trinidad and Tobago. So we could arrest the Jaguar now.
So what about that video we saw with them? They
talk about the man
tranquilized a jaguar and put it in a cage.
That was one from before.
previous.
That was
Yes.
previous. Now, I actually think that it is somewhere out there. I think that Trinis are Trinis. Trinis are Trinis, right? And after horning as a national pastime, lies and deceit and corruption is the second pastime.
Right.
Maybe it's a type of foods. I don't
Somebody
know.
maybe don't capture that.
I think
have
it
it as a
just.
pet?
I
Yeah,
think
cook
it
it.
just. It
Cook
just.
it.
It's somewhere that they cannot find, or they know that it's there and they know they can't see.
Or maybe it just went away.
Went
Like it
away
just went
where?
back where it was.
Like
It
Neola
jumped in the
said.
Orinoco.
I don't know. Wherever it come from, it went back.
Only forget where we live in. We've eaten everything.
It's true. It's
Okay,
true. They probably
okay.
did curry it.
You know,
So I
we are
mean,
not, I could have those people that would save the beached whale. No, we are
Eat any
hacking it
whale.
up. And
yeah,
So
I don't know. It was just a strange story to begin with.
And thing.
So hold on. First of all,
No, listen.
first of all, it's his outside woman name is Jaguar.
Oh my.
Probably.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Did you see it,
Look
Chris?
where we going.
You saw it? You didn't
Saw
see
it.
it. So there was a story. This man jumped on and said he saw the Jaguar. He was attacked by the Jaguar. The man had scrapes.
Yes, he said he
Oh,
was
yes, I
washing
heard about it. I
On
didn't-
his
Yes.
forearm. The scrapes look.
However, the scrapes cannot be that of a Jaguar.
Maybe it was a kitten. Maybe they're
kitten.
baby Jaguars
A small
somewhere.
one.
Even so, you ever got scraped from a kitten? They could do some work.
I got a tiny and I
But
was
not actual
like,
scrape.
all right, dude.
Maybe his
That's
girlfriend's
bad.
name was Jaguar.
Maybe outside
Maybe.
woman.
Okay.
Right? Because
That's
it's a trauma bond.
all that.
What is waiting for it? It's too easy. It's too easy.
So
Yeah.
next up on Let's Talk Trends, we have Chef Jason Peru.
Oh
Who
Lord,
has
Mr.
so-called
Peru.
resigned
They fire him.
from Chief Brand Products.
No, they
we
fire
know
him.
what that means too.
They fired.
Okay.
Did you see the
The
Facebook
views
post?
of Camber Joe do not necessarily reflect the views of Island Girl Talk.
No,
But
for
it's
me,
quite likely.
For me, it was his whole thing. He
Yes.
wishes them well, and it's time for him to focus on his own project.
They get fed up, but he backing out.
Yes,
That's what
Of
it
course
is.
they
right.
did.
Yes.
Of course they
Yes.
did. And so
You
he
can always be in the news and representing my brand. Come on, Sue. Let it be
Always
blamed
in a
and
negative
not
way.
at all.
Right,
Correct.
not the good kind of news, the bad kind of
More
news.
so than for food.
So
Indeed.
that was hilarious.
And
But hold on, wait. I have to say, kindness is my brand. I wish him well.
Okay.
Yes.
In his future
We do,
endeavors.
we do.
I
And
wish
stop
him.
your nonsense, please, Sue.
Nicole said it, not I.
With her whole chest, she said it.
And lastly, we have Star Networks Blue Network with the $1 phones and laptops. So you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
Lord.
Yeah. The Trinidad and Tobago Authority for Telecommunications, they said they have no authorization. It is illegal, or they don't take the chain up. Okay? So That's it for Let's Talk.
Didn't he have some
Hold on,
previous
we
company
can't wrap
that
it up
was...
yet
Okay.
because I feel like I need to dig into
Yeah,
that
things
one.
to say.
Yeah.
I had to dig into that one a little bit deeper, right? Because I remembered when the announcement came out, it was reported in a newspaper. I wouldn't say which one. Reported in a newspaper that Starlink, which is Elon Musk's company, is cleared to come here. That's what Tata approved.
Okay.
This other company seemed to have piggybacked on the star.
That's opportunity.
I see.
The shining star, and basically jumped out, and that's how the promo was. And even the article was like, this ain't making so much sense, but you know what, all right, cool, you know, things has happened, Trinidad, listen. And you'd be like, what? And then the day of the launch came and it was a fiasco.
Yes.
They didn't have the approval at the location. They were down at Movie Town, so
And
they
of
invited
course,
everyone to come
a
down.
lot of people were there.
How embarrassing.
Allegedly, I mean, I saw the pictures. It wasn't
It was
that
a little
bad.
scanty.
It was a little scanty, but they were overwhelmed, and that's why they had to stop. That's what the guys stood up and whatever the CEO person said.
Right.
A marketing director person said that, oh, we're overwhelmed, and then the real story came out, and it was that they didn't have the authorization.
Right.
Wasn't he the owner of some other company and he changed
It is
the name?
alleged.
Something that was totally unrelated.
It is alleged. There were lots of red flags. The domain was a GoDaddy website.
Stop it.
What?
I cannot tell a lie. I cannot tell a lie.
For a big network.
Big alleged network. And then how the maths was in maths
Not
in
making
so
sense.
many different ways. And Trini's love a bacchanal.
Oh,
boy.
yes, and they love a dollar phone.
And we
And a
love a
laptop.
dollar phone and a dollar laptop. Someone else was saying, I had seen that they were talking about the kind of laptop that it was and the kind of phone that it was being advertised is to be able to do things like Apple Pay, but it's not Apple phone.
Okay. That's it, Lex.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys, take us out now, Lex.
All right. We're going on to...
And with that, we wrap.
Let's talk. That's what we do.
That is.
Get into it.
Get into
All right,
it.
one
Get
more
into
quick break, Navy. We're not wasting any more time. We'll be back with the lovely Kemba Joe and the Empowerment Minute.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
Try to
And it's your island girl. Navy was that one. I am Kemba Joe.
I am Lex.
And I am Crystal Cade.
And of course, we've had an amazing show. I know what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I need to hear music.
Yes,
I need to hear music. It's
Yeah,
just
a little
it's a little
something.
quiet. So yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of just like, what is missing? But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
thanks, we have it there. So of course, y'all, it's been an amazing show. Thank you for sticking with us all throughout. Chatting with Nuala was just a breath of fresh air,
Yes. It was.
touching on really important things, of course, that we've all at some point may have either witnessed or have struggled with for ourselves, or maybe started thinking of what if possibilities. So thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe to O.U.R. and Island Girl Talk. But I can't not get into the last piece without reminding us all, or you all, if you ain't get listed yet, now is the time. It has just a couple more days. It's free 99, and you can get listed by sending a WhatsApp message to 466-4OUR. That's 466-4687, or sending an email to party@OURradio.fm. We have live performances confirmed: Nigel Rojas, Marge Blackman, Orlando Octave, Gus, Mr. King, Madhead City, Nelly Cotoy, Izzy Real, Just Liz, and so many more. So this Saturday, 3 days from now, the 17th of June, down at Sound Forge, we look forward to having you there, right? And so it's time for the Empowerment Minute. Woosa.
Oh,
Woosa.
yeah.
Yo, so
for me,
I have two that I want to share tonight. So one was already designed and wrapped into the show. We talked with Neola about all of the things relating to trauma bonds and, you know, all of the red flags in a sense. But I want to share green flag when I think of this one. Ooh. And it's a quote from someone that does a lot of coaching and self-coaching and helping you to be a better person. And her tone and her energy is so kind and welcoming. Her name is Sylvie Kukasian, and she's an Armenian woman, and she lives in the US, and she does a lot of empowering work. And this quote is, connection and vulnerability in a relationship is a two-way street. If it's only happening on one side of the street, it isn't connection, it's masturbation.
Oh God, what is this?
Please, one more time for the people.
I said it.
Okay.
Connection.
Where you find that?
On Sylvie's page. On Sylvie's page.
All right, go ahead.
Connection and vulnerability in a relationship is a two-way street. If it's only happening on one side of the street, it's not connection. It's masturbation.
Oh my!
And that's because only one person is getting pleasure out of something.
Yes.
It was a little out there.
I love that.
It's a little out there.
Send me her name and
I will share you her profile because she does amazing things. And then the second one, I couldn't not let this one go. It just all the gems that Neola shared with us tonight. But this one, I promise, if you label your pain correctly, you're not going to die.
Yeah. All right. Fire.
I need
that one.
2 seconds. Yeah.
One more time.
Of course. I promise, if you label your pain correctly, you're not going to die. Said by the one and only Neola Zama. Yeah.
Right.
And that's it.
So we can't just stretch it out a little bit till Neola comes back. She just came back.
But of course we can. Of course
I would like you to just repeat her quote that
the last
we just quoted you.
Certainly. We just quoted you, Neola, for our empowerment minute. We actually did 2, and I'll share with you I'll probably message you on Instagram. Shoot up my words there with what that quote was, but it was basically, you know, connection is a two-way street. If it's a one-way street, it's masturbation.
Right?
But this one stayed with me. I promise, if you label your pain correctly, you're not going to die.
Yes.
Thank you. All right,
you
Chris?
like that one? I mean, it might feel like you want to die.
Yeah,
but you actually not.
But you won't.
You will live.
You won't. You will.
Yes?
You will.
You all ready? Yeah. And with that, we wrap our empowerment minutes. Guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us for yet another week, another show, another episode of Island Girl Talk. We love putting on this show for y'all, and with every episode we grow and grow and grow and grow, and that is what it's about. Yeah. This is a safe space for women where we can come and voice our opinions and not feel any type of way about it. We're us, we're here to stay. Listen, we are literally the portals to this realm, and we're unapologetic about it. Yes? So join us next week. We're going to have another fantastic show for y'all, of course, at the new time, 6 p.m.
Yep.
Yes.
What else we have to do the slogan.
We have to do the slogan.
Of course. Remember, this is Island Girl Talk, where women are free to simply be unapologetically. Keep it classy, guys. Bye.
Think about the future we could have, yeah. And then she talk a little talk in my ear, and it a go like, Rasta is my darling. That's all she say to me. She telling me say, Rasta is my darling. That's all she say to me. You don't feel worry about the next girl, baby, cause when the night I'm getting cold, and she wants someone to hold, she have the link with me. The little dog I oh, and the night I'm getting cold, and she wants someone to hold, you have the link with me. The little dog I kill it. Hey, little African dancer, me love how you dancing. We say you let me go ginger, me want to know you're asking. You're asking, little African dancer. Hey, me love how you dancing. Me say you let me go ginger. Hey, me want to know what you're asking. Not you telling me say follow me back to Ayada. Me say follow me back to Ayada. Baby, now the thing get nice. Everybody all I met, so the thing just right, yeah. Play a couple tunes, we dance all night. You are the ragamuffin, I can see it in her eyes, yeah. Me and the victim, and yeah, you are the crook. The way you steal my heart, you are feel the boy, you shook, yeah. You and me met my right by the way that you look. You make me want to study, I'll treat it like I be you and me money. Love it, take you let me love it. Rasta boy not dance, but you make me push up on you and me body. Me and you Clyde, and that's kinda funny. Me trust her with the back, and me know she has security. You know you drive me crazy. Dance for me, baby. You know you are my lady.